at 22. They've got a really good core group of guys, to your point of they're building towards something too. And I got to give Monty McNair also huge credit for what it took to make that Kevin Huerter move possible. Like he moved, it was Justin Holiday, Mo Harkless, and a top 10, I think, protected, top 15 protected first round pick. Like to get those scraps essentially for a very valuable key starter to your team. Like Kevin Huerter took a massive leap this year. I know, the playoffs are still fresh for people, but let's not forget that Kevin,
he was awesome.
Kevin was incredible this season and had so many moments, hit so many shots for this team when they needed them. It feels like a slam dunk now, but we can't forget that these, Kevin Huerter was a good trade when it happened, but all of these moves weren't guaranteed successes.
It was going into this year. It was like, yeah, King said they should grab a play-in spot.
Yeah.
They should be in that play-in tournament. Like that was the goal.
That was the hope.
And then they were the 3 seed.
Right.
That it was unbelievably impressive. And in large part because of what the front office did. And, Mike Brown deserves a lot of credit too.
He got his part. Yeah.
That's why he gets an award. Darren Fox's fourth quarter heroics earned him an award, as they should have. Like, I think the Kings won 3 awards.
Yep.
And they were the 3 awards that were the biggest reasons, or they were awarded to the biggest reasons that
absolutely
they were as good as they were this year.
Just all tracks. That's a great point, because who are the 3 that you would really say, maybe Domantas Sabonis excluded, but he even got some recognition. Like we'll talk a little bit about that later, but Fox clearly was huge to this team down the stretch of games, hence why he won the clutch.
Right.
But Mike Brown, to put the pieces together in his first year, let's not forget Mike Brown is a defensive minded coach, or at least that was the narrative of him coming in. He was the defensive coordinator for Golden State, also just has a very defensive mindset, but still managed to coach this team to the number 1 rated offensive, most efficient offense in NBA history.
Ever.
And then Monty McNair, who did his part in putting all of the pieces together. Again, like even all the way back to the Keegan Murray selection, like that was something that was heavily debated. Should the Kings go with Jaden Ivey, somebody who has, potentially more potential than Keegan Murray because of his age? Keegan was kind of okay, he is what he is. He's pro ready, but what is his ceiling? Monty was willing to take the quote unquote risk on that. And it's paid off. I mean, Keegan was the perfect fit for this team. Usually people say don't draft for fit, draft for best player available. But in this case, I think the Kings actually managed to get both. And that's a really rare thing to do. And, obviously credit Keegan on that. And he's going to get first team all rookie honors. In my opinion, I think that's probably going to happen, but it was a collective effort. And let's not also forget to mention that the Kings also, to add to the accolades, Paul Johnson, the Kings Stockton GM, won executive of the year for Stockton. So it's not even just at the major club level. Like they're really building a developmental system, which is, we know that the minor leagues are so important in baseball in terms of grooming your guys. For the Kings to be going from a 16 years of being a joke of a franchise, like literally the butt of everyone's joke and being looked at as incompetent running your organization, for them to have this season, this massive coming out party, it's just a great, we talked about it yesterday with Keegan Murray specifically, but this season has just been a great building block for the organization.
Yeah, it absolutely has. We've got a really fun show coming up today. We're going to have Jason Timpf. He hosts an NBA podcast with Volume. He is one of my favorite guys to talk basketball with. Not a hot take guy. He watches the film. He's going to have a ton of thoughts.
Yeah.
Can't wait to hear him on a wild Warriors-Lakers
game,
which we'll get to here in a bit. I also want to ask him some stuff about the Kings and Monty McNair and what this team's building, what they could be looking at improving this offseason. So it'll be really fun to talk to him. At 12 o'clock, Monty McNair, who we've been talking about,
the GM,
he's going to have his end-of-season interview. We're going to carry that live for you right here on Sactown Sports. That'll be on the YouTube page. You can check us out there at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. We'll be carrying that Monty McNair presser live. We'll be getting your thoughts on that. We'll be giving our thoughts on that. And then at 1 o'clock, we've been spending so much time in the NBA space, obviously, because the Kings were in the postseason. And
Right.
I want to take, now that we're a couple days removed from Game 7, I want to take some time and discuss the 49ers and what they've been doing this offseason.
Right.
They had the draft that just kind of
Wait,
came and
what?
went. Yeah, I swear. It was a 3-day draft. The draft just kind of came and went. They've made some free agent additions. They're getting ready to start OTAs. So we're going to have Nick Wagner, who covers the 49ers for ESPN.
Right.
He's going to join us at 1 o'clock and just kind of give us a lay of the land with the 49ers and catch us up, because we've all been neck deep in basketball. Although I know Nick pretty well, huge basketball fan.
Yeah.
While he covers the Niners, he's also been neck deep in hoops. So maybe we can get some basketball questions.
I would love that.
Talk a little bit with him. Yeah, so that's coming up at 1 o'clock. But again, Monty McNair, we're going to carry that live for you right here on Sactown Sports.
Yeah, really excited for that.
Hey, on YouTube, we finished at 57 likes yesterday. I want to get to 60. If we get to 60, I'm going to go nuts.
One day we're going to beat the morning show. That's my goal. That's my overall goal. We're going to one day. But
I love that.
Baby steps.
I love that.
Baby steps.
Set the sights high. We'll get to 60.
We'll get to 60. Cattles and Rami first. We're going to beat Cattles and Rami first. Let's wash those guys, and then morning show.
So your power rankings, you're putting morning show.
Well, I just I just see the likes,
Okay, that's
it's
okay.
actually
it's not okay. Okay, yeah, no, let's get to 60 today.
Yeah.
I think we can do that.
Yeah.
So if you're on YouTube right now, head down just below the video. There's a little thumbs up button. Just smash that.
The midday chatters are
the best.
Yeah, they're definitely top tier.
You know what?
I would expect us to.
You know why I rock with the people who are in the YouTube comments or the text line or calling in on in the midday?
Why is that?
It's because those are the people who are either not at work, which cool.
Dope.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, especially appreciate you.
Or the people who are at work and like, nah.
I just need something on in the back.
I'm gonna do something different.
Yeah.
I rock with that energy so heavy.
Absolutely.
So we appreciate everybody there for sure.
Yeah.
I mentioned that we're going to talk to Jason Timpf about the Warriors Lakers.
Wild.
Who'd you wind up? You said you were going to have to wait until the ball was tipped to decide who you were going to root for.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Dude, let me tell you.
Because you were leaning Lakers going into yesterday.
I was rooting for the Golden State Warriors yesterday. Yeah, I swear. I'm just as surprised as you were. I had no idea.
I thought there was no chance.
Same. I thought there was not a chance in this world that I would root for the Golden State, but I found myself, I think it was just the familiarity that I had with the team, like just watching them play 7 games so intensely and watching every little piece of it. Like there was just a familiarity with Golden State that I found myself rooting for. I don't know. Like it was more, I knew what they were trying to do. I knew where they were trying, what adjustments they might try and make. And I just found myself a lot more compelled with the Golden State side of things. And, maybe that'll change game 2, but, no, I was shocked. I did not anticipate myself pulling for Golden State.
I think part of it too is, as a Kings fan, you're just ingrained to hate Laker stuff.
That could absolutely be.
And I think that also, when you get out of the immediacy of the series against the Warriors,
right?
Like all that ingrained stuff, I think comes to the fore.
All that DNA
that has to play a role.
I think it definitely did, because watching Austin, like I've enjoyed watching Austin Reeves play this year. Watching him do that to Golden State, like it gave me the feelings that I normally feel when Steph is doing those things, and I was like, this is not like, it was a very bizarro universe. Yeah, big upset last night. But it was a good game. I enjoyed watching it as having no horse in that race. I thought it was a entertaining enough basketball game. Wasn't super, I didn't love how it was officiated, but it was okay. But
it was a really entertaining game.
It was entertaining.
You get a 14-0 run in the final 4 minutes of the game. It's gonna be a barn burner. 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We'd love to hear from you. You can call the show, you can text the show at 339-1140, and of course you can participate in the YouTube chat at youtube.com/SactownSports 1140. Who'd you wind up rooting for last night? And we have to talk about the Jordan Poole shot. Was it a good shot? Was it a bad shot? We'll talk about it in 90 seconds. This is Chris and Company on Sactown Sports.
It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The coach of the year.
like you've never seen. It's all access, all the time. All in one app. Because if it's happening in the new NBA app. So get the app today.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Thanks, Jason. Jason Ross is just in here.
Yeah.
I invited him to hang out, and he said he didn't want to hang out with us. Now he's back. Now I'm going to do the whole segment staring at him.
Yeah.
Can you see him on YouTube?
No, you can't.
Ah, boo. That ruins the bit.
I don't like that call.
That's not a very good call. Shout out to Jason. Yeah. The Jordan Poole shot last night.
Oof.
I've gone back and forth on it.
Yeah.
Because when I saw him catch at the wing, it was like, okay, now they're going to swing it back up top and try and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Get Steph a good shot.
Yeah, same.
Or run Clay off a screen, get Clay a good shot. And then he just pulls up from 30. And in the moment, I went, I don't like that shot.
Not a very good shot.
Not a very good shot. But the more I've watched it and the more I've had time to kind of let it sink in, and hearing Steve Kerr talk about it and hearing Steph Curry talk about it and watching Steph Curry and Draymond Green's body language immediately after the ball was thrown to him, it feels like that was how it was set up.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jordan probably could have been a step or two closer to the 3-point line on the catch.
Probably.
But if he takes another dribble there, Jared Vanderbilt's closing out.
Mm-hmm.
If he tries to swing it back up top, it's Steph Curry and Draymond Green up at center court trying to make something happen with now like 9 seconds left in the clock ticking.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't actually mind the shot, but I feel the exact same way as I did when Harrison Barnes took that 3 for the Kings in game 4 against the Warriors.
How so?
Where I saw that play by Darren where he dribbles into the double, throws it out to Barnes. Barnes has a wide open 3 and misses.
Yeah.
And it was, I get the play. I understand that that's the right basketball play. You got an open look for 3 for the win. You'll take that. On the other hand, you didn't need a 3. You have the clutch player of the year. I would like to see him get a shot up.
Mm-hmm.
And we learned later that Darren had the broken finger. And I feel the same way about this. Like, I get that that's the right basketball play. I get that it's a good shot. It's a shot we've seen Jordan Poole make. He was red hot from 3 in the game. I think he was 5 for 8 or 6 for 8. And I feel like it's a shot you can live with, but I also get that's not the shot you necessarily want.
I hated that shot. I absolutely hated that shot. I was like, I'm glad that I think I understand where you're coming from. Me personally, I don't want the game to end with a Jordan Poole 32-footer or whatever it was. I think when Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are on the floor and you need a 3, I know Jordan Poole was open. I agree with you. It was the right basketball play for them to swing it to him. I don't think any coach in America, like, it goes back to almost like that Damian Lillard shot over Paul George, where it's like, where Paul George is like, that's a bad shot. And Damian's like, it went in. It's not a bad shot.
Right.
I think if it goes in, sure. Yeah. We're like, oh my God, Jordan Poole, ridiculous. What a great moment. But there was, in my opinion, the second it went up, I was like, I don't know what this guy is doing. There was 10 seconds left on the clock when he let it go. I know I will listen to the argument that you're not going to get a more open look than that. Absolutely. Because it was an open look. Here are the facts. It was an open look.
Yes.
Jordan Poole is capable of hitting those shots.
He was 6 for 10, by the way.
Right. He had knocked down multiple threes. To your point, he was kind of red hot at that moment in time. I think he had no points in the first quarter, had 13 in the second. I don't know what he ended up with, but he continued to stay hot throughout that game. I just don't love that look when, again, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson are on the floor. I'm a lot more willing to lose knowing that Steph took a contested three. Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time. Klay Thompson, maybe the second or whatever top 5 shooter of all time. I'm just, to me, that shot is a win for the Lakers. Like if you ask Darvin Ham, if you ask LeBron James at the end of the game, did you like the look that you guys gave Jordan for the end of the game?
They'll look with it.
They're going to say, yeah, we'll take that 10 times out of 10.
To your point, the Steph Curry shot at the end of game 1,
right?
Against
That's
the Kings,
perfect counter,
that one-footed runner at the top of the key, where the Kings didn't want him to have the ball in his hands there, but they figured out a way to do it. I'm with you. You got to know that the Lakers are going to get a double in that spot. They're going to get the ball out of his hands, and it appears that the outlet in that situation was Jordan Poole on the wing.
Right.
I think if he's got his feet set right behind the 3-point line,
yes. But that's a different shot than what he took.
Then he was 6 feet behind the line or whatever insane amount it was. Yeah, I'm.
Would you rather have? So this is that's perfect that you brought up that game 1 shot. Would you rather have that game 1 shot that Steph took or that look that Poole took last night?
Ooh, the Steph one, just because I'd rather Steph take a tough shot than Poole. But if there was ever a time where Jordan Poole was where I was going to be comfortable with him taking that. It's then. He was 6 for 10. He'd hit a ridiculous 3 where he just threw it at the rim because he thought he got fouled and it went down. And just when he's feeling himself like that, like that's part of why the Warriors paid him.
Right.
Like that audacity to be like
very true.
And it's part of why he's frustrating. It's part of why he got punched in the face. If I'm just keeping it honest. But that audacity to be like, he had as a rookie, had the worst shooting season of all time.
Yeah.
Not hyperbole. Not for a rookie. Not for from a volume and percentage basis, it was the worst shooting season ever.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't think I knew that stat.
Bounces to the G League, bounce back and forth. But in the play-in year, when the Warriors went to the play-in and lost to the Lakers and then the Grizzlies, he's taking threes in the corner. And that was his second year. And he's taking huge shots down the stretch. And it's like, okay, you like the bravado, but also read the room. Yeah. A little bit. You got 3 champs. It's the give and take.
What you just brought up is a very good, that is quite literally what they paid Jordan Poole to do is to take those, they're fully aware that in those exact moments, teams are going to try and take out Steph and try and take out Klay. And that's why they have Jordan Poole. And that's why they're paying Jordan Poole is to take those shots and make those shots for sure. But the fact that he has now taken that shot, maybe again, if he takes a couple steps in, I do wonder if he's guarded differently, which is again, why you pay him is for him to be considered a threat in those moments. So
if he takes
from
one
that
step
sense,
forward,
I can live with it.
His shot was short. If he takes one step forward, it's a bucket.
Right.
But the other, I have two big problems here, aside from Jordan Poole, just from a basketball, tactics standpoint.
Yeah.
He took the shot with 9.7 left. Even if he cashes that, the Lakers have 5 seconds in a tie game.
Right.
With Anthony Davis, who had been unstoppable to that point. They have LeBron James,
it's a tie game to your point.
Who has a layup in him when you need it. He's not as dominant as he was, but he can pick his spots. Right. You have that's one of the issues for me.
Sure. Right.
On the other hand, there have been so many times this year where Golden State has just not gotten a shot up at the end of a quarter or the end of a game, particularly with the ball in Jordan Poole's hands. We saw it against Sacramento, how out of control he can play.
Right.
It's like, well, I mean, at least he got a real shot up.
I would also, I would take him taking that catch and shoot 3 over him taking that and then putting it on the floor and doing
spinning.
Who Lord knows
falling,
what happens after that.
Dribbling it off his foot.
Right.
Fouling
taking
somebody.
it 2 or something.
Dude, so the other thing was that was a tie up
after the shot.
Schroeder got the rebound. There was a tie up there, and they just gave the Lakers a timeout.
That's insane.
I don't want to. The officiating was not the reason the Warriors lost that game. The free throw discrepancy was because of
the Warriors took 53 3-point attempts.
They took 106 shots. 53 of them were from beyond the arc. And that's what the Lakers wanted. It was really clear like they were going to play that way.
Yeah. That's insane.
So nuts. And so many of the looks were good, though.
They were great looks.
So I'm fascinated to see kind of how that works.
Yeah.
The biggest issue I had on that last play was Klay Thompson just ran to the corner and stood there.
Just stood there, yeah.
And next to Andrew Wiggins.
Right.
And I get, okay, so they're trying to pull 2 defenders away, but it's not like you're trying to get in the lane.
Right.
So and then Wiggins, when he came down, he was just kind of under the basket.
Right. And
I guess trying to get a ball. It was not I just did not think it was a well-designed.
Yeah, it was strange.
I like that they didn't take a timeout, though.
Yeah.
Where they tried to.
Yeah.
You just go them frenetic.
Off guard, I guess.
Yeah, and it just, it didn't work. I think you can live with the shot, but like you said, when the other team is like, we'll also live with that shot.
Yeah.
That's when it's done.
That's how you probably know it's a loss.
That's how the Warriors looked at the Harrison Barnes shot in game 4.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah,
we'll take that.
We'll live with that.
Yeah, we'll live with
Darren Fox shooting from 15 where he's
absolutely
shooting 90%. Yeah.
Did you feel like Golden State was tired last night?
No. The Lakers looked more gassed than Golden State did.
I agree. And it sounded like they were trying to, on the broadcast, at least maybe spin the narrative that Golden State was tired. And I was like,
you know what else they did on the broadcast? They really tried to push the Steph LeBron rivalry.
Gosh.
And I just wasn't feeling it. Is the Steph LeBron rivalry still a thing? Let's talk about that on the other side.
Yeah.
It's Chris and Company on Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Everyone knows Elk Grove Kia is home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new Kia. But did you also know that Elk Grove Kia is your one-stop place for used cars? I'm talking over 300 used cars available. With Kia's certified program, with its 165-point quality assurance inspection, we know peace of mind on used cars is important. And that's why we also offer extended service agreements on all our used makes and models. Most prices are under Kelley Blue Book retail. New car protection at used car prices. From used sports cars to used delivery vans, we got them all at Elk Grove Kia. And our financing folks have over 100 years of combined experience. So we approve just about everyone. No credit, little credit, bad credit, no problem. And Elk Grove Kia is proud of our don't like it, bring it back guarantee for up to 3 days or 150 miles, no questions asked. Why would you buy your used car anywhere else? So check us out online at elkgrovekia.com today.
Turn your highway into a smile way. Elk Grove Kia.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Now look at some of the rule changes this year. Through the games of April 27th, game times reduced by 28 minutes, from 3 hours 4 minutes to 2:36. Stolen base attempts are up about a half an attempt per game. The percentage has risen from 75% to 80%. Now no shifting, batting average on balls in play from 290 to 296. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
When you hear the words, the whole store is on sale, if you're like me, you're thinking, this is worth my attention. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word or two about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now, Naturewood's whole store is on sale during their exceptional home sale. Now your mind is probably doing backflips trying to decide where to start. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Or maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, or accents and accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide home sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stickley, Artisan Home, Stanton, Flex Steel, Omnia, and all the rest of our award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable home sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Want to talk to you about my friends at American Energy. We can all agree on one thing. Your time is important. That's why at American Energy Heat and Air, they make shopping for a new air conditioner easier with their new online quoting tool. Now, all you have to do, go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote today. It'll help you determine what system you'll need to get and provide those great pricing options they have, the best pricing options, all from the comforts of your home without having somebody coming to your house. Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your specific needs are, call 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlot with your Sactown Sports headline. The NBA announced today that Kings general manager Monty McNair has been named Executive of the Year. This is the first time a Sacramento general manager has won Executive of the Year since Jeff Petrie in 2001. This is also the third Kings end of the season award after Darren Fox won the Clutch Player of the Year and Mike Brown won the Coach of the Year. There's only one NBA game today. That is the Philadelphia 76ers at the Boston Celtics. Yesterday, it was announced that Joel Embiid was named the NBA MVP, and today he made an announcement of his own. According to the Athletics' Shams Charania, Embiid told his teammates that he is back and will be playing in Game 2. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and company with Kyle Madson.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
60. That's the number for today.
We're going to reach
60.
it. We're going to reach it. We already got a good start. Half hour in.
We're 27 likes on YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Our likes per minute right now, wild.
Crushing it in LPM.
Yeah.
It's what the analytics community really likes.
Deep analytics.
LPM plus.
Mm-hmm. Dude.
What's our lures? Likes over replacement show?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I'll have to check Saturday.
What's our Raptor?
Dude, that stat
it's
is
so insane that people just make up stats.
Yeah, VORP. I mean, VORP is value over replacement.
Yeah.
I feel like, it's obviously baseball that started it all, but basketball has kind of gone, like, the thing about baseball, the advanced analytics numbers is they all kind of make sense, right? Like slugging percentage is like doubles and like things that aren't singles, right? And then, on base percentage is just literally
percentage of time you get on base.
But like the Raptor, what is Raptor? I know you can't.
I genuinely have. It's like some kind of defensive thing.
No clue. And then VORP, like the value over replacement player. That's kind of like basketball's WAR in a sense, wins above replacement, but it's not calculated. I don't know. Just basketball's advanced stats. A lot of them that don't like directly attribute to something on the floor make no sense to me. And I like really love basketball and try and follow it, but it even loses me.
When you're making stats just to make up words.
There's a LeBron stat as well. Like
there's a Carmelo stat.
Oh,
all caps.
No. And it's
CARM-ELO. It's their season prediction model on 538.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my. See, yeah, like you say, they're just making stuff up.
Raptor is a plus-minus statistic that measures the number of points a player contributes to his team's offense and defense per 100 possessions relative to a league average player.
Okay. So it's like your complete
I guess.
I don't know what the difference between Raptor and VORP would be, value above replacement player.
And like there's some places like different ones more. Robust algorithm using player tracking and on-off ratings. That's what I hate.
Oh,
this.
that's what Raptor. Oh my gosh.
I hate this.
Oh my. Yeah.
I like numbers. I'm in on stats.
Yeah, for sure.
And I am with the
Same.
revolution.
Yep.
This is insane.
That's ridiculous.
I hate that.
It just doesn't even make sense. Like, and people legitimately, if you listen to like some hardcore, if you listen to the Athletic NBA show or whatever, they'll throw those things out there like it's common talk, common knowledge. Like, oh yeah, DeMar DeRozan's Raptor last year was. It's
like, yeah, but can he hoop?
Yeah, exactly.
And DeMar can.
He can. Oh yeah.
It's just it's one of those. It's like you have to take, when you talk about like any stat, you have to use that not as the end all be all.
Right.
There has to be
supplemental. Yes.
Yeah. And
you got it's to add context, right?
Like, I'm not going to watch. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to look up these teams' Raptors.
Yes.
And make my takes off that.
Right. I'm going to say Corey Joseph is actually the third most important King because he has the third highest Raptor. And it's like, well,
it's just not fun.
If you watch him.
It takes the fun out of it. If you're going to quantify every single thing.
Right.
Which I get why teams do it.
Yes.
I get why teams want to do that. And we had a Kings analytics person on when I was on with Dave in the mornings. And he basically said, like, you can watch a lot of basketball, but you can't watch all of the basketball.
Right.
Numbers can. Right. And I thought that was really interesting.
Right.
So I get it from that perspective, but yeah,
it's not the end all be all. I think it's the point.
It's definitely not.
Yeah. And especially when it comes to we just went through the NFL draft. Like, I feel like a lot of drafting is a lot of numbers, probably for that exact explanation that the Kings assistant gave was you can't watch all of the prospects. And so you have to kind of go off numbers. But again, like there's nothing quite like using your eyeballs and just being like, oh yeah, that guy just a gamer.
But I also understand how that can be deceiving. Like if you're a Kings fan and you watch the Kings and maybe you don't have League Pass, so you'll watch the Kings and then whatever the national TV games aren't. Even if you do that, you're not seeing a ton of basketball. You're seeing a ton of Kings basketball, but you're not in the scope of the NBA, right? And so maybe you watch Clay and you watch and you go, man, he did not shoot it well in Game 7. And then the next time you watch him, he doesn't shoot it well. And you're like, man, you know what? Clay's a high volume, low percentage 3-point shooter. And that's just your takeaway from watching. But then you go look at the stats.
Right.
And it's like, oh, he shoots 40% on a really high volume. He just had a couple of bad games.
Right.
So that's where the numbers I think can matter.
Exactly.
Anyways.
Right. Adding context to what you see.
Our likes are at 32 now. We want to get it to 60.
People like the advanced talking.
Party time. No, so you wound up last night. We were talking Warriors Lakers.
Yeah.
And the Jordan Poole shot, was it a good shot? That's our poll on YouTube today. Was the Jordan Poole shot good? Yes or no? You land on no. I land on, like, in a vacuum, yes. But I have enough gripes that I can see calling it like a bad decision, a bad play.
You land on could be worse.
Genuinely,
it
could have been.
It definitely could have been.
That could have been like an Andrew Wiggins fall away 3.
So that makes me think, what's your list in terms of if you're Golden State, who do you want taking that shot? Steph obviously
Steph 1,
is number
Clay
1.
2, Poole 3.
Okay.
And it's not even, I don't even think it's close. And after that, it's like,
there you go.
Dante DiVincenzo.
So then I think where you're landing is probably fine then. I think it's a okay shot.
Yeah.
It's not the best, you acknowledge it's not the best shot you could have gotten. It's not your favorite shot, but it's also a shot that you got to live with, you know?
If he had hit that, it wouldn't have been like, whoa, he hit. It's like, okay, I've seen Jordan Poole hit that shot.
Right.
I thought it was kind of wild, though, that this is the 6 and 7 seeds in the West.
Right.
And the broadcast is still trying to push the Steph LeBron rivalry.
It's not the same.
We got to let it go.
We've
got to let it go.
Yeah.
These are two players who, at the peak of their powers, were meeting in the finals year after year after year. They met in the finals 4 freaking years in a row.
So much so that both conferences were irrelevant. Like, it was, can we just get to Warriors, Cavs, please?
1,000%. That was the start of the regular season not mattering. And that's their last matchup was 5 years ago.
Was it really?
In the finals.
Yeah.
2017-18.
That's
was the last time they met in the finals. That's the last time they met in the playoffs. Steph and the Warriors have had a couple of bad years in there. LeBron and the Lakers have had a couple of really bad years in there. Granted, they won a title in the bubble year.
Right.
But
asterisk.
Asterisk. Big
Stop
time
it.
asterisk.
Stop it.
I would say
is.
half an
Stop
asterisk.
it. You guys are nuts. Stop it.
The Dodgers get one too, for what it's worth.
That's a
agree with
bigger
that one. Yeah, I
asterisk.
definitely agree with that one.
I mean, if you're a Dodger fan, can you even take that championship?
Ask Jay Mars.
I feel like if I was a Dodger fan and I claimed that title, I would hate myself. The self-loathing would just be. Jay Mars in the building. Big Dodger fan. He's back. Joking. Yeah, no, I'm kidding on that. But they won a title. They've just not been, and now they're the 6 and 7 seeds,
Right?
And they're in the second round, and they're like Steph, LeBron, the rivalries. But like, it's not. LeBron's not even the best player on his team anymore.
No.
It just.
It doesn't hit the same.
It doesn't.
It just doesn't hit the same.
It feels like two former like high school football rivals meeting in their hometown. One of them now sells insurance. The other one's in real estate. And they walk in with their Letterman jackets on and they're eyeing each other. And it's like, dude, you last shared a field 27 years ago. Let it go.
That is a perfect analogy.
That's just how, like LeBron's not the same player. Steph's not the same player. It's
not even the same team.
They're not the same teams.
Right.
Like
True.
that's the other problem.
Right.
Like just with the modern NBA in general, these people that like follow, like, I am a fan of this player. I'm not a fan of this. Fan how you want.
Yeah.
I hate that. I just have no.
Yeah.
How do you feel comfortable being like, I was a Cavs fan,
Right.
and then I was a Heat fan,
Right.
and now I'm a Cavs fan again?
No,
Now
you're
I'm
not a
Laker
fan of the team.
Yeah.
Right, but you root for that team to win because your favorite player is on that team.
It's tricky.
I
but
did
you
that.
don't-
I mean, I wouldn't say I was a Cavs fan. Like I wasn't like,
No,
oh
but
man.
when the Kings were out,
Yeah.
you
root for
pulled
LeBron.
for LeBron. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Probably, I'm gonna guess. Dude, I'm getting into your psyche today.
Yeah.
Probably because you disliked Kobe Bryant on some level.
Sure, but I also just believed in Braun early.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I get that. Like dude, I'm an A's fan, bro. Like
Kobe was probably later in his career when you started really getting into basketball, Chris.
No. I mean, I remember the series, and you know.
But you said you were 7.
I was, but that was when
So
I
you don't
first
really
started
remember.
understood. That's when I first started. to
Sure.
See,
fully
and then LeBron,
understand.
when you first started, and LeBron came in that next season, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Before.
So
Yeah.
he was like your guy.
Yes.
He was your basketball
Yes.
guy.
Yeah. I mean, LeBron is.
He was the first one like you saw his entire career.
Yes.
And he was dominant.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Like from day one, I was like, this guy is
Yeah.
different.
Right.
I mean, we literally from day one, we saw him go against the Kings, and
He's
it's
the
like,
all-time
oh.
leading scorer. He's gonna finish top 5 in assists, top 5 or 10 in assists. He's gonna be like
yeah.
top 20 in
he's
rebounds.
gonna be, tops and everything. Like
He's gone to the finals 10 times. What a ridiculous.
LeBron
player.
is good, but yeah, I mean,
all right. Hot take, man.
to the initial point, like it's not hitting the same. The Steph LeBron thing, like there's moments for sure,
Yeah.
but to see them build and every commercial break, LeBron James and Steph Curry
Right.
leading their teams to what it's just, it doesn't feel like you're actually watching this series.
It used to be when Steph would get his shot blocked by LeBron, I would just fume.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Hey, LeBron got him a couple
last
times
night.
last
Yeah,
night.
last night it was just like
He
it was
got
just
him
like
a couple times.
yeah, it was like, oh, you
Yeah.
just got it. There, like
It was just a normal
doesn't-
block. Yeah, completely.
My
I felt
disdain
that
for
as well.
LeBron has just it's
Right.
gone. I have no ill will towards
Right.
that guy. Like the rivalry just it's just not a thing anymore.
Draymond Green also agrees.
Draymond, dude,
Best friend LeBron James.
dude, just chit chatting during the
Just
game. While he's on
loving
the
it,
bench.
yeah.
He's in foul trouble. They're
Yeah.
losing by 10. He's over like, hey, LeBron, you're so funny. It's disgusting.
Oh,
It's so
man.
weird. It's so weird watching a LeBron James team where he's not.
Where he's not the best player, and like it's hands down, not even close. Like Anthony Davis is head and shoulders the most important player to the Lakers this series, this playoffs.
I almost bought tickets to that game last night.
Mhm.
I almost paid to go, and I'm so glad. I
Yeah,
didn't.
dude, you wouldn't. I don't think you would be here today.
Has there ever been an event that you've attended that you've regretted paying for?
Mm.
Let's
Everybody's
discuss
got
that.
one.
Let's discuss that on the other side. That's Chris and Kyle. It's Chris and Company on Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy,
Purdy gonna throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel,
Debo 10, Debo, touchdown!
and McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to three key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Sacramento area attorneys. 500 cap.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Feel and hear the power of America's muscle cars and more at the Trans Am Speed Fest, May 5th through 7th at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Enjoy the open race paddock and be immersed among the teams. From the top of the corkscrew to the bottom of turn 1, it's 3 days of racing thrills for the whole family. For tickets, call 831-242-8200. That's 831-242-8200. Or visit WeatherTechRaceway.com. The Trans Am Speed Fest, May 5th through 7th at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca in Monterey.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTRCM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for free personalized arch support, fitting, and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
We're talking regrets.
No regrets.
Speaking of regrets, did you watch last night? I'm Kyle Madson, by the way. Chris Watkins is Chris and Company.
What up?
Did you watch that game last night, and did any part of you feel like Kings would have won this series?
I knew you were going to say that. Yes, absolutely.
Me too.
Absolutely.
Me too.
Absolutely.
The first 3 minutes of the game.
Right. I mean,
is it 10-2 or whatever they started, the Warriors started?
From the jump, I was like, yep, literally just copy and paste us into this game. this is what we would be doing, except
we wouldn't have a Jordan Poole to make a bad shot.
Wouldn't
at the
have
end.
a Jordan Poole to take a bad shot at the end.
Yeah, it would have been a Harrison Barnes.
Would have been a Harrison
instead.
Barnes. I think Sacramento would have performed really well last night. I think
I think they have more answers for the Lakers' size.
Yes.
Than Golden
As
State
funny
does.
as that is to say, right. I mean, yeah. I think Anthony Davis was going to be a problem no matter who he was going against last night.
He's reached a level that I just didn't think he was ever going to reach.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't think he would ever
really
have,
good.
like, you have to have a certain level of, like, just dogness to him that you're right. I just didn't think he would ever have to have, like, 30-20 game.
He nearly had a 30, 25, and 5 game.
Right. Almost had 5 blocks as well. Right. It just was doing everything out there last night. There was no way of stopping Anthony Davis. And by the way, I don't know if anybody took note of this, but Kevon Looney also had 20 rebounds again last night. So might have not just been a Sabonis thing.
2 players having 20 rebounds in the same game is insane.
Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Sabonis almost did that with Looney, but even he couldn't. I think he finished with like 17 or 18 in that game. Yeah, I think the Kings could have done really, really well. I think it would have been different. I kind of pointed at it earlier, like Davion Mitchell's not going to hit the same guarding Dennis Schroeder as he does against Steph Curry. So
no doubt
there's some other adjustments that they probably would have needed to make. Maybe Terrence Davis would have fit better in this series than in last, but I would have really liked the Kings' chances, and I would have picked them probably to win the series in 5 or 6. I kind of think the same still for Golden State. If you had to ask me right now, it feels like 5 or 6. Which feels controversial at this time. It feels like a lot of people are starting to lean
really
Lakers.
dominant last night.
Yeah.
Especially like on the interior, just the way they defended inside. The Warriors just could not.
Yeah.
Like there were so many stretches against the Kings where the Kings interior defense is not obviously great. And Golden State would just it'd be a
Whatever
layup
they
line.
want, right.
Or they'd get that backdoor cut, somebody falls asleep.
Right.
And that just wasn't happening with LA. And that's why Golden
Mhm.
State took 53 threes.
Which is nuts.
I almost paid like a lot of money to go.
Yeah, what tickets just to get in? I think were $250. I think I saw the average is like $700 per ticket.
Yeah. And the get-in price is well over $200.
Yeah.
That's in the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
Like that's in the cuts.
The bleeders. Yeah.
But as the game was kind of churning last night and the Lakers made it a 14-point game with like 7 minutes left or whatever, I was like, thank God I didn't go. Then the Warriors go on that 14-0 run.
And you're like,
it's like, damn,
yeah.
I'm so glad I wasn't in the building for that shot, for that Jordan Poole shot.
Yeah. The sound that would have came out.
Just we cut that? Thank you. Just the like the excitement and the energy to get back. Okay, then D'Angelo Russell layup. Okay, not that big of a deal. And then all of a sudden, Poole, you get the stop.
Right.
And it's like, oh my, here we go. And then just
flat.
That would have been a huge waste of money.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a game that you've gone to, or is it maybe like a concert?
Yeah.
The Kanye concert out here was pretty bad.
See, I was at the Kanye show here in Sacramento, and
I didn't know that when I said that.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal 20 minutes. Like maybe the best 20-minute concert anyone could have possibly put on. And of course, we were left after that 20 minutes wondering if I legitimately called my friend who had just seen Kanye in San Francisco a couple nights before. And I called him and I was like, hey, man, so like, does he just like leave in the middle of the set? Like, does he just like walk off for like a couple minutes, maybe like an outfit change or something? He was like, nah, man. Like he's just like does the show. Like he might talk a little and do his little. He was doing rants every single day during that period. If we all will painfully remember, he's like he does a couple of those, but nah, like he never walked off the stage. Even that to me, we got our money back for the show, so I had no complaints about that. But that was definitely the closest that I got to regretting paying for something. Usually for sporting events. Maybe a football game. Like I've been to a couple Raider games when they were at the Coliseum where, like that Mount Davis, some of those seats are like, why? Yeah. I have problems going with football games in general, just because watching it on TV is so much better, but that's really probably it. I don't know.
We've got a couple here. We've got a couple here in the YouTube chat. B. Perry, the Kanye G1 show murdered me, followed by Mark Souza,
Bro.
who says the Kanye concert was worth it. We got a full refund.
That's
and a
what I'm
phenomenal
saying.
20 minutes.
That's what I'm saying, Mark. Thank you. I'm right. And it's really split. Like, I have a couple friends who are like, Kanye is the worst. I mean, he is. It's been proven out, but he is one of the worst humans ever. Like, what a terrible thing for him to do. He left us. I paid all this money to see the show, and I didn't get. I was like, bro, I just got a great free 20-minute concert. Kid Cudi was there. No complaints. I have no complaints about that show. It was
no
could have done without the rant, but the show itself was crazy, and I don't know if I would have been able to survive the whole thing.
Wheezy80 also in the YouTube chat talked about the A's wild card game in 2019.
Oh,
I was in Hawaii for that game.
Tough.
Right, so I'm in Hawaii for that game.
Any A's wild card game, really
bad. I'm in Maui, and there's a hotel bar, like a tiki bar on the beach. It is 50 feet from the beach. Like, it's right there.
Yeah.
And I got my A's jersey.
Vibes could not be better.
Dude, I was so convinced they were going to win. I was so I thought that A's team, it was Matt Chapman and Matt Olson. It was like, this team is going to be awesome.
Spoiler.
Jeez. They end up losing.
Yeah,
obviously. They in Hawaii, they're 3 hours behind. So that game was like a 4 o'clock. I'm like, I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to run into the ocean.
The rest of the night.
Dude, I left that bar in the 5th inning. I was like 4 Jack and Ginger Ales deep. The Giants fan next to me bought me a drink and goes, he goes, I was rooting for you guys. I'm like, that's my time.
I don't need that.
I'm out of here, dog.
Like,
I don't need any of this.
Your sympathy right now.
God, I was so,
bro, that's terrible.
Crushing.
That's terrible.
It was so tough.
Yo, what was
that?
That
was you. That was you, bro. That was you.
Unprovoked.
We've got Jason Timpf of the Volume Host and NBA podcast there. One of my favorite people to talk hoops with. We'll talk Warriors Lakers for sure, but I also want to get his thoughts as a neutral observer on the Sacramento Kings and what they're going to look like moving forward. Should be a really fun chat. That's coming up next right here on Sactown Sports. Chris and Company.
It's Cattles and Rami.
That's right. He's got his shirt on, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Sacramento Kings shirt.
Let's go.
Oh, Boston boy.
Let's go.
Boston Nick got out the Kings shirt. Look at that.
Let's go.
You went out and spent money on that too, didn't you?
No.
Oh.
But let's go.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
A car buying that's electrifying, yes. A great ride and go. You'll be smiling, Elk Grove. Get your motor in, open road in, whip down, turn it into a highway. The Elk Grove Kia peace of mind guarantee is a 20-year or 200K warranty. No hassle, no worry. You bet you'll ask anybody who can turn your highway into a smileway.
Spring is here, and Elk Grove Kia has some incredible offers, like the all-new, all-electric EV6 for just $549 plus tax. What about the sporty Nero EV all-electric, just $397 plus tax? Worried about credit? Don't! Elk Grove Kia's team has over 100 years of combined finance experience. Bad credit? No problem. Elk Grove Kia says yes when others say no. Both payments are examples of 36 monthly leases, $3,999 customer cash with assigning plus DMV registration and taxes, 10 day per year, 20 cents per mile. Over subject to Kia finance approval, 7 plus FICO score to qualify. Offer expires 4/30/2023. One with this bank, CD6 GK8609, Euro EV GK8598.
Elk Grove Kia.
Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an IMAX 2D and 3D experience.
It's time to save the universe. Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by.
See Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the largest screen in Sacramento. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for tickets and reserved seating. Select showtimes in 3D. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club to receive special member pricing on tickets and more at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
ACR Solar and Home Services is here to help you, just like they helped me. Jason Ross here, and ACR did a great job for my family, bringing their impeccable reputation and great workmanship to keep my family covered with a brand new roof. Now we're comfortable and dry during Sacramento's rainy season, knowing our home's structural integrity is protected. Our value is increased, and the home itself, well, it's looking and functioning at its best. The proof, it's in our roof. Now, you could get this same quality experience with ACR Solar and Home Services. Just go to acrsolar.com now to sign up for a free estimate and see all that they have to offer. not only to protect your home and family during the cold and wet Sacramento weather, but also including premium made in the USA solar electric systems. That's acrsolar.com. ACR Solar and Home Services is bringing us all the highest quality, highest value, and integrity since 1979. Go to acrsolar.com. That's acrsolar.com.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back this weekend at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Fred Aldridge,
what you doing, baby? Don't you?
and so many more. Plus a Blue Scoop Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 340, and Stonies Rock and Rodeo.
When you hear the words, the whole store is on sale, if you're like me, you're thinking, this is worth my attention. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word or two about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now, Naturewood's whole store is on sale during their exceptional home sale. Now your mind is probably doing backflips trying to decide where to start. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Or maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, or accents and accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide home sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stickley, Artisan Home, Stanton, Flex Steel, Omnia, and all the rest of our award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable home sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources today. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
KHTK AM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your local sports leader in the 916. This is Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Erlotti. There's Sactown Sports Headlines. The NBA announced today that Kings general manager Monty McNair has been named the Executive of the Year. This is the first time a Sacramento general manager has won Executive of the Year since Jeff Petrie in 2001. This is the third Kings end of the season award after Darren Fox won the Clutch Player of the Year and Mike Brown won the Coach of the Year. There's only one NBA game today. That is the Philadelphia 76ers at the Boston Celtics. Yesterday, it was announced that Joel Embiid was named the NBA MVP, and today he made an announcement of his own. According to the Athletics, Shams Charania, Embiid told his teammates that he is back and will be playing in Game 2. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and company with Kyle Madson and our guest, Jason Timpf.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Yeah, Executive of the Year, Monty McNair. His end of season press conference coming up at noon. We're going to carry that right here on Sactown Sports. You can check it out at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Speaking of YouTube, we have our YouTube question up right now. Our YouTube poll today: was the Jordan Poole shot good or bad? And that's where I want to start with our guest Jason Timpf, host of Hoops Tonight at The Volume. One of my favorite people to listen to about basketball, to follow on the internet talking about basketball. He's got YouTube breakdowns. Jason, you do a really great job. And I want to ask you, the Jordan Poole shot at the end of last night's game, good or bad shot?
The reality of the situation, Steph was double teamed. They were down by 3, and Jordan Poole had already made a bunch of threes. So the way I look at it, like maybe if he puts the ball on the floor and drives that closeout, maybe you get a higher quality shot. But at the end of the day, he got a clean look from a distance that is not ideal, but a distance that I'm sure he practices plenty. And I think like of all of the things to focus on from that game, and I understand the idea of that being the focal point in a game where you're down 3 in a late possession. But like, as far as I'm concerned, against that Laker defense that was so locked in, you're certainly not guaranteed to get a better shot than that.
Yeah. Anthony Davis was absolutely incredible last night. 30 points, 23 boards in 44 minutes. Do the Lakers need him to do that every single night in order for them to win this series?
I believe so. I mean, and he's capable of it. I mean, he was as up and down offensively as he was in that Memphis Grizzlies series.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, he was more or less that guy every single night. I tend to think he's the best defensive player in the league when he's actually healthy and locked in. There's a combination of physical tools and defensive IQ. He's got such great instincts, and I thought he demonstrated that last night, like a good understanding of when he needed to vacate the paint to show on an on-ball or off-ball screen versus when he was okay to hang back. He did a good job reading his guards and understanding whether or not they were in a predicament where they needed his help or not. Again, like this particular defense does not have the same type of defensive personnel down the roster as Boston did last year.
Mm-hmm.
But the fundamental cogs in the Steph Curry attack are significantly better, in my opinion. Like Robert Williams is a guy that has some similar physical tools to Anthony Davis, but doesn't have nearly the same level of defensive IQ, right? And then Al Horford has the same level of defensive IQ, but he doesn't have the same level of physical tools. And then you're chasing Steph over the top of screens with smaller guards like Derek White and Marcus Smart. This is Jared Vanderbilt, and what makes him unique is he's one of the very few wings in the league that is outstanding at avoiding screens, like sidling over and under screens, but also has the length of a wing to pressure from behind. So many lock and trail players, guys that are good at avoiding screens, are stockier and shorter because it's just harder to set a screen on a lower center of gravity than it is on a higher center of gravity. So Jared Vanderbilt the Jared Vanderbilt-Anthony Davis combo is a very unique defensive combo, and I don't think it's a coincidence that that's been Steph's least efficient night of the postseason so far.
Talking to Jason Timpf, host of Hoops Tonight at the Volume Sports. Is there an adjustment Golden State can make in your mind?
Yeah, I know it's the same one that Warriors fans have been talking about since
Steph pick and rolls.
It's been almost a decade now. Yeah, Steph pick and roll. But, I mean, here's the thing. It sounds cliche to say, but there's a very specific reason for it. So in a lock and trail situation, so if I have Jared Vanderbilt on Steph Curry and I'm poised right behind him, ready to follow him wherever he runs, in that specific situation, my job is relatively easy. And as long as I'm positioned behind him, even if he cuts back, he's cutting right back into me. So it's kind of like a one-directional physical ask, right? And so Jared Vanderbilt in the off-ball situations did an amazing job chasing Steph Curry. But in an on-ball situation, it's so much different because now I'm squared up with Steph. He's facing me, and now I have to account for two directions, left and right. Not only that, there's a guy who's trying to screen me. And the idea of sidling over screens, it's not like just a magical power. It's like a technique thing. Jared Vanderbilt has outstanding footwork with getting that top foot over the top foot of the screener so that he can sidle up over the top, right? But you have to set yourself up for that. So there's another guy in the Lakers who's outstanding at this on the ball. It's Austin Reeves, and I'm sure you saw a bunch of that last night against Dante DiVincenzo. But when you have a live dribble, you can use 3 or 4 counters to get that defender to end up on the wrong side of the screen. Then Looney quick flips the angle and sets a good pick, and now you're past the guy. So to put it simply, I think Steph can ditch Jared Vanderbilt on screens way easier on the ball than he can off the ball. It's a lot to ask physically, but as soon as he starts ditching Jared Vanderbilt a little bit more, that's what pulls Anthony Davis up to the level of the screen where he has to contain that pull-up shot, which then opens up everything on the back end as far as Steph driving or hitting the roll man. Like that's where they can get openings around the rim that are higher quality.
Jason, if I could take it back to the first round real quick for a second and focus on the Kings, do you have concerns about Domantas Sabonis' play in that series and his future as the Kings' second option moving forward in postseason play?
Yes, and I mean, to me, it's just the harsh reality of playoff basketball. Like, what happened to Sabonis in that round reminded me a lot of what happened to Kevin Love in the kind of the late 2010s with the Cavs, where, like, he would be this effective regular season cog who's such a great screener and pick and pop threat who could post up smaller defenders and all these different things, but then, like, then he'd run into like Thaddeus Young on the Pacers and just have no idea how to post him up anymore, you know, or Draymond Green would just completely demolish him. Like as soon as the physicality ramps up, like what I call it is like the undersized big whose physicality is the advantage in the regular season, but that gets evened out when you get to the postseason. And so from that standpoint, like he was struggling to beat switches. He couldn't finish in drop-off situations and pick and roll, and then all of the limitations on the defensive end of the floor. So here's the thing. There's a lot to be really excited about as a Kings fan from that series. Like, to put it simply, Darren Fox and Malik Monk are great playoff players. Like, they just are, because they can beat everybody off the dribble, and they have dynamic and reliable pull-up jump shooting. So, like, that to me is such a great foundation. And then Darren Fox can really hold up defensively. And so you can theoretically put together a lineup where Malik Monk is your weakest link, and even he is a good athlete, right? But you have to bolster that front court with real athleticism and defensive versatility. That, to me, is the option. Like, the exciting part is you took the Warriors to 7 while getting nothing out of your front court offensively. And so you currently have personnel that theoretically is your offensive-minded front court, right? Like, for all of the limitations of Harrison Barnes and Sabonis defensively, you're like, hey, we're in good shape on the offensive end. No, you weren't. Those guys didn't play well. So the exciting part is if you can flip that for better defensive talent and you get similar limitation offensively, you could still have all the dribble penetration from Fox and Monk, hold up better defensively, and have a really good chance to make a long playoff run. So even though it's a loss to the Warriors, they competed better than I expected them to, and you have two proven offensive initiators in the playoffs in Monk and Fox that I think is really exciting.
He's a host of Hoops Tonight at the Volume. Jason Timpf. Hey, Jason, is there a good landing spot for Dillon Brooks?
I understand the victory lap thing, and the Laker fan base is ravenous, so they're having many moments at his expense. Here's the thing: I was saying all season, Kyle, I know you spent a lot of time covering the Warriors this year. Like I thought he did a great job on Steph in all of their matchups. I think he did a great. I thought he did a great job against all of the best players in the league. I legitimately think he's one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. So, again, the shot selection is annoying. The talking trash, that obviously is annoying. But, like, there's also no veteran presence in that locker room. So I tend to think, now, there's a report out there that his agent wants $25 million a year. $25 million a year, that's insane. He's not getting that. But I think he's certainly worth a mid-level exception somewhere. I think that teams that lack size in perimeter defense, teams like Miami, teams like Dallas, those are teams that I'd keep an eye on because, again, you put them alongside veterans. Like Kyrie and Luka will look at him and be like, "Stop shooting the ball, dude! Like, you need to take higher quality shots." So, like, in a veteran locker room that lacks perimeter size and athleticism, that's where I see him fitting. Dallas should be banging on his door all summer long to try to get him to sign a mid-level exception.
That's Jason Timpf, host of the Hoops Tonight podcast at The Volume. You can check him out on YouTube as well. Jason, you're one of the best. We really appreciate your time, man.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Dillon Brooks.
Him saying the Heat right there, that fits so perfectly. Dillon Brooks in Heat culture, you know, if they could mold him into a little bit less of an annoyance and a little more of a pest.
And they win by turning games into rock fights.
Yes. Oh, and that sounds right up Dillon Brooks'
He's just
alley.
a rock fight of a person.
He would definitely be the type in like an 80 to 80 game to hit like 2 threes in a row and just be like.
Although on that Heat team specifically,
yeah,
I could see him putting up like 15 shots.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Yeah, he would.
He's going to look at Cody Martin in the corner and be like, nah.
Duncan Robinson, take a seat. Tyler Hero, you're good. It's me time.
Yeah.
I can see it.
I'm glad that Jason agrees with me that was a good shot for Jordan Poole.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. You know, and again, I think that everything that you guys laid out, like it makes sense to me.
Here's I think this might be what you're getting at, and this is my beef with it. That shot by itself. If he takes that shot in the second quarter, nobody's like, what is he doing?
Yeah, right.
It's the fact that was, and I get they didn't call a timeout. They were trying to get the Lakers in transition. And I understand all of that. They ultimately got an open shot. I would have liked to have seen something where Clay is not just standing by himself in the corner. something where Steph and Draymond are not
should have moved too, right?
taking themselves out of the play after passing.
Right.
Those are the like little things, but the shot itself, I
didn't love.
I didn't.
You're right. No, you're absolutely right. Like, I mean, if you rewatch it, Steph gives it to Draymond, doesn't cut, doesn't move at all. Draymond gives it to Poole, no movement at all. Kind of like Jordan had to. It's almost like Jordan had to shoot it.
Yeah,
which is also, again, like they're kind of leaving him out there to dry.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, also move on. It's
right.
It's the next game now, and it's would have been a nice one for the Warriors to get, but honestly, big by the Lakers. I felt like
they should have lost by a lot.
Yeah,
the Warriors should have.
Yeah. I agree. They needed that 14-0 run to even make it a game. I thought the Lakers pulled away, and I don't know. Like it's a really good win for the Lakers too. Obviously, as a team that has some injury problems, it's good that they don't have to go absolutely full tilt. For these 2 road games that they have. They already got their road win. They can kind of settle a little. Pressures now on Golden State to pick one up at home, and then back to the crypt in LA.
I hate that so much. I hate it so much. All right, here's what we got coming up today. We've been wafting in the basketball air for a long time. I do want to get to the 49ers today. There's a lot to get to with them, just kind of bigger picture stuff. At noon, we're going to have Monty McNair, the executive of the year in the NBA.
Ooh.
His press conference is going to be live. His end of season press conference is going to be live right here on Sactown Sports. So make sure to stick around for that. It's going to be on YouTube as well. On the other side, though, would Darren Fox take Damian Lillard's career? The morning show brought this up today, and I think it's a fascinating conversation. We'll talk about that on the other side. I'm Kyle Madson. That's Chris Watkins at Sactown Sports.
Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Handoff McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feels super, baby! The 5-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
On your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Everything that you'd ever seen with Miranda Lambert on it, I have my finger on the pulse of what it is. Idlewind, I've seen every article of clothing. I've spent hours and hours sending inspirations. I've sent clothes that I love and fabrics, and I'm involved in every single garment that you see. It's important to me that it is an extension of my music, and it's an extension of who I am. I always want it to stay as honest as my music. Idlewind at Boot Barn.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please, gamble responsibly, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hey, we hit the 40 like mark.
Did we actually?
Yeah, we did. Oh my gosh. Shout out to everybody watching on YouTube at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Our record is 57 likes.
We can beat that. We're already pretty much there.
We're almost there. We're 20 short.
Yeah, we're not even halfway done
I see
with
almost
the show.
80 people watching this show right now.
Yeah.
If you voted in the poll, please go down and hit that like button.
Yep.
It's the little thumbs up right below the video.
70 of you voted. Don't make us take your voting rights away.
Yeah. We'll do it.
Moving on. The 72 votes in our Was Jordan Poole shot a good shot? Yes, 32%. No, 68%. That feels about right to me. That feels about right.
Yeah, 2/3 of people feel like it's not. A third. Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's livable.
It's who it is, right? As well. If Steph catches and shoots that.
Or Clay even,
Yeah, it's probably flipped.
Yeah.
Like
because
68,
you
yes,
live
32
with
now. Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan's.
Especially since he was such a, it's so weird. The Kings had him in such a, what's the word I'm looking for? He was just in a straitjacket the entire series.
Yeah.
That was a player who figured out how to play against the Celtics in the finals last year
Mhm.
and then gets in a series against the Kings and could not figure it out.
Yeah. Something tells me Mike Brown had something to do with that.
He was a mess,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Whatever the Kings did worked. So Dave and Jason were talking about something this morning, and it really got me thinking. It's about Darren Fox and kind of the ascension that he's on. 25 years old, just proved that he is a 1A playoff player.
Yep.
A player that you can build a championship team around. Again, I don't think I'm the only one who had a question about that going into this year. It was like, he's good. He's at least a rotation player on a title team, but what's his exact role?
Yep.
He showed in the postseason, he elevated his game. He is a 1A. If I told you right now, hey, I can guarantee you that De'Aaron Fox will have Damian Lillard's career. He's going to go to the conference finals. He's going to stay in Sacramento. He's going to be the best Sacramento King of all time. He's going to make all-star teams. He's going to have a first-team All-NBA in there. You'll go to the conference finals. No title, but you're going to be a playoff contender.
I think I take it.
You would take it?
If I'm De'Aaron Fox, if I am actually De'Aaron Fox, I'm not taking it.
Sure.
Because,
Sure.
player confidence. You got to feel like you can achieve more than that. Not that that's anything to scoff at, but, if you tell somebody, hey, the best you're going to do is win, go to the conference.
You're going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Well, some people would take that. I would take it as a fan. Like, if you're telling me right now, like, hey, I'm guaranteeing you all of those things, I think I would take it because I'm not convinced that, the Kings have never made the NBA final. The Sacramento Kings have never made the NBA finals. I think to make the conference finals is an accomplishment in itself. It feels like, we kind of downgrade even making the conference final. It's not the best thing for sure. But where we've been at the past 16 years, that sounds pretty decent to me. And then, you throw on the one-time first team All-NBA. That means you're a top 5 player in the league. You're a top 2 guard in a generation that has Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kyrie Irving, Chris Paul, all these incredible guards that we've seen. I think I would take it. And, I think
Dame doesn't have a scoring title.
He does not have a scoring title. No,
Wow.
He's been really close before. He averaged 30 in a season once. I don't think a lot of people would. I think a lot of people have higher expectations locally for De'Aaron Fox, which could also be an issue.
That's my big takeaway from this is watching him in the playoffs this year. And then we talked about Monty McNair being the executive of the year, and you have the coach of the year in Mike Brown. I think there's an infrastructure here where De'Aaron Fox and this Kings team can ultimately achieve more than Damian Lillard.
They should be able to, right? Because the Blazers didn't. The best player they put him next to was CJ McCollum,
and it's not. And Damian Lillard's had a great Hall of Fame career. This is not to disparage.
I was talking about more individual, not necessarily team wide. Like I think team wide, I think De'Aaron is capable of being built around to a championship, but.
And just with what you saw Monty McNair do this year, in year one of just tinkering, and Kevin Huerter, good player, not an all-star. Malik Monk, really good bench guy. He's going to be, this isn't the only time Malik Monk's going to be in the 6th man of the year conversation, I promise. Malik Monk, you drop him in there, but you're still working with like Harrison Barnes. You made the Domas trade. I think I'm risking it.
That you would say no. You would say you're not going to take Damian Lillard's career. I'll roll the dice on something else.
Yeah, because when you look at and that's because I think you're guaranteeing Damian Lillard's career. You're guaranteeing that they're not going to win a title.
Yeah,
and maybe Dame and the Blazers figure it out in the next year or two, and they win one when he's in his mid to late 30s. So. I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we're just going to say he's not going to win a title.
Yep.
That's the world we're living in. I genuinely think with what we talked about this in the West yesterday. So you have the Grizzlies, who are now like they are ascending, but I think there's more questions now than there were a year ago.
Sure.
They looked a year ago like a team that was like, oh, hey, they're going to run the West for a long time. But I think there's questions there. The Nuggets are just kind of around.
Yeah.
Like they're going to
might make the finals this year.
They're going to be in the mix for sure. But like the Suns, over the next,
Right.
and this is over the next 3, 4, 5 years.
Right. Once CP's gone, who knows what happens with KD? We're just talking Booker and Ayton. How far can that go?
And maybe even not 8.
Yeah, right. Completely. Yeah. They tried to get rid of him last year.
My buddy Dan is a huge Suns fan
Mhm.
and cannot stand DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm filling in my worldview on how Suns
That's a
fans feel about
popular
DeAndre
sentiment
Ayton.
from what I
Yeah.
understand.
Like the Mavericks, I don't believe in the Mavericks this year.
Yeah.
Much less over the next 5.
Mhm.
Like Luka's a very good player. Luka might win multiple MVPs in the next 5 years. I don't buy Dallas. And then
Yeah.
like New Orleans, is Zion ever healthy? Like my point is that the Kings already are better set up like for with the Warriors.
Yeah.
The Kings are better set up over the next 5 years than Golden State is by a wide margin.
Mhm.
By a wide margin.
Right.
So
mind you, yeah, Steph will be 40 in 5 years.
right, exactly. Like right. Steph's not getting any younger here.
Yeah.
So, and neither is Clay. Draymond might not be around. Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody may or may not be good at basketball. Jordan Poole it toes the line between all-star caliber and total disaster.
Yeah.
So that I like where the Kings are at over the next 5 years more than I like so many teams in the West over the next 5. And I'm just banking on that. I'm giving Monty McNair the benefit of the doubt that there's another couple bigger tweaks that are going to elevate this team to a greater level than they were this year. I'm willing to bet on that. Betting on the exec of the year, betting on the coach of the year, and then betting on Darren Fox's continued ascension.
I think it's a good bet. I definitely think it's a good bet. I just, I don't know. I've never seen.
You
the
have lower
Kings,
standards. I understand.
I've just never seen the Kings be good, and I think
that's fair. No, that's very fair. I think that's a very fair sentiment.
If you were to tell me 3 years ago, De'Aaron Fox can be Damian Lillard's career, I would have taken it every day of the week. And I think it is fun on the ascension to think about how great this thing could get, but that's also ignoring, there's a lot of obstacles along the way, a lot of things that you can't foresee, Sabonis, he might be gone after next year. It doesn't seem like that's going to be a thing, but he might be gone. How does his new contract, if he does get one, affect the team building? What is he going to make? What are they doing with the Harrison Barnes spot? How does Keegan Murray develop? There's a lot of questions still that I have that don't, I think the Kings are definitely trending in a right direction, but I'm going to be here to pump the brakes a little bit on the Kings are going to be conference finalists 3 out of the next 5 years or something.
Yeah.
Not that you're saying that, but I think a lot of people, just the way they're talking about the Kings, it's a foregone conclusion that this team is set up for success the next 5 to 10 years. And I'm just not 100% sold on the fact that the Kings, in a season where, frankly, we all also have to acknowledge, like, this was a very weird NBA season. A lot of injuries, a lot of guys sitting out for different reasons.
A lot of guys getting old, though.
A lot of guys getting old. You're right. LeBron getting up there, Steph getting up there, and that's part of it. But, I have a tough time seeing the Kings being guaranteed, that kind of success for a long period of time. And it's about them being set up, and they are set up well, but I'm not fully there yet.
Monty McNair's end of season presser coming up in about half an hour. We will carry that live for you right here on Sactown Sports and on the Sactown Sports YouTube page, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Let's get to 60 likes today. 57's our record. If you're there, smash that like button. We'd really appreciate that.
Oh, we're climbing.
Are we?
Yeah, we're at 57.
I love that.
Let's do it.
Hey, the A's, the Oakland Athletics, nearly made a little history last night, and then they face planted.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Ram truck owners have heart for being fearless, determined, and bold. That's why it's time for you to be a Ram. Make the move to a 2023 Ram 1500 with optional features that take your ride to the next level, like an available multi-function tailgate and the available Ram box cargo management system for versatile exterior storage, plus a premium audio system that turns every trip into an amazing music experience. Ram trucks, built to serve. See more of what Ram has to offer at ram.com.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. and Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Truck season savings extended at Midday Chevy in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Got a huge selection of new 2022 and 23 half-ton Silverados in stock, ready to go. Find your savings at MidayChevy.com. Find new roads.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Carmichael Dave here. Welcoming back my dear friends at Fire Wings. 21 different flavors. I had 4 of those 21 Saturday for the game, watching with the family. As always, breaded Malaysian curry. Yeah, you better bet I got that curry. Knocked it out of the park, too. Go to firewings.com to make your order. That's what we did. We ordered 2 hours in advance, picked it up. There's nothing better for the game than Fire Wings. Check out the locations nearest you. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Today is the day. Today is the day you empty your garage and closets of your old tech. Today is the day you hang up on that dial-up modem. Today is the day you tell that old GPS to get lost. Because while Staples recycles old tech for free each and every day, today, during Staples' free Tech Take Back, Rewards members get $10 in Staples Rewards when they recycle their tech. Cut the cord on your old tech and recycle it at Staples. N617. Limit 1 reward per month. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/recycling for details.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
It's the wine event of the year. Don't miss the Lodi Wine Experience, May 19th and 20th. An iconic weekend of world-class wines, delicious food, and live music at Lodi Lake Park. Tickets at LodiWineExperience.com. Must be 21 and over.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Laud with your Sactown Sports headlines. The NBA announced today that the Kings general manager, Monty McNair, has been named Executive of the Year. This is the first time a Sacramento general manager has won Executive of the Year since Jeff Petrie in 2001. This is the third Kings end of the season award after Darren Fox won the Clutch Player of the Year and Mike Brown won Coach of the Year. There's only one NBA game today. That is the Philadelphia 76ers at the Boston Celtics. Yesterday, it was announced that Joel Embiid was named the NBA MVP, and today he made an announcement of his own. According to the Athletics' Shams Charania, Embiid told his teammates that he is back and will be playing in Game 2. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and company with Cal Madson.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
We have a record.
Do we?
We have a new record, baby.
We do.
Let's go, man.
Woo!
Shout out to YouTube.
How you like them?
We finished yesterday at 57 likes. We're up to 65 now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Let's go,
Turn
man.
down for what?
Oh, was not expecting that. What?
Turn down for what?
Okay.
Turn down for what?
How you like that, Dave?
Yeah, Dave.
Jason.
Hell yeah.
In your face. Let's beat them. They only got 70.
It's 70
this month.
likes today.
That was so weak.
Get us 71.
That's so weak.
Get us 71.
71 easy.
Easy work.
Easy. Come on.
That sounder was elite, by the way. I wasn't ready for the turn down.
I thought it was just gonna be the countdown in a rocket. I was like, okay. It wasn't the most aesthetic.
Maybe some like air horns.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. That'll be for 80.
So the Oakland A's last night, Mason Miller.
Wait, the A's? Oh.
The A's played last night.
Okay. Gotcha.
Played the Mariners in Oakland. And I heard the guys on the morning show talking. They do their hit streak thing.
They go streaking.
Yeah, right. And Dave was going to pick Julio Rodriguez before learning that Julio Rodriguez has been dealing with a back injury
for sure
in his day-to-day.
Right.
But he said, who's pitching for the A's? Oh, some guy with a 6.48 ERA. That's Mason Miller, who they just recently called up from Las Vegas. And yeah, he's a 6.48 ERA, but he's very good in his first start.
Mm-hmm.
Not as good against the Angels in his second start, but 11 strikeouts, 2 walks, and 8 in the third innings.
Dang.
Throws 100, got a nasty slider.
Yeah.
Like Mason Miller is a dude. Not a dude in the sense of like, oh, hey, here's an A's player that's interesting. No, he's a good prospect and a good player. He goes out last night against the Mariners. 7 innings, no hits, no runs, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. But he threw 100 pitches, so they took him out after 7.
You said no hits?
No hits. Had a no going. Richard Lovelady.
I'm sorry?
Richard Lovelady.
Lovelady.
The reliever that came in for him.
Uh-huh.
Promptly gives up 2 runs in 2/3 of an inning, and the A's lose 2-1. I don't think there's a better encapsulation of this season for Oakland.
Yeah, for real.
Than like a good encapsulation of it is losing 11-0 in back-to-back games to the Rays in Tampa. The best team in baseball, mind you, but 22-0 over 2 games.
Not great.
Brutal. But finally, like, hey, here's a stud prospect. Here's somebody fans can be excited about. He goes 7 no-hit innings.
Strong.
And looked electric. Like, yes, here we go. Promptly. He comes out in the 8th. Mariners get 2 in the 8th. A's lose 2-1.
Oof. Yeah, this is A's have had a lot of bad seasons.
This one
does this feel the worst, especially with all like the outside noise and
yeah, man. I don't know that I've ever experienced a season worse than this Sacramento's had some. From a standpoint of the players aren't good.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to really get excited about.
Yeah.
There's no reason to believe that the manager or general manager are going to be able to do anything substantial to change this. So now you're looking at ownership. And when you look at ownership for help, they're looking to move. They don't care about making the team better.
No.
They care about getting the hell out of Dodge. And part of the reason the team sucks is because it's Major League, the movie. They want to look at the fan base that last night 2,700 people or whatever showed up. And this is not an overnight thing. Kings fans got here too, where it's like, this is a great fan base. These are people that you give them a morsel of something to be excited about. And you're going to sell out that arena, and it's going to be the loudest arena in the NBA.
Yep.
You give A's fans a morsel of something to be excited about. But this has been going on since the early 2000s. We're going on 20 plus years of this. And it's exhausting. And it's hard to spend your time and your money and your emotional energy going to the stadium and cheering for a team where A, you don't recognize any of the players. B, the players you do recognize and get excited about are gone in 3 years.
Yeah, right.
There's there's nothing to latch onto. And we're just talking about the Kings, and it's like, wow, look at the next 5 years for the Kings.
Yeah.
You said it. You can't guarantee anything. And this is they're not saying, hey,
but even hope is a step forward, right?
And you just look at the foundation and the building blocks and the front office and the coaching staff, and you're like, yes, this is a real life NBA team that is going to try and build toward a contender. And you see the steps, you see the path. For the A's, there's nothing.
Yeah.
The only path they care about churning out is the one to Las Vegas. And check this out.
They don't want you either.
They don't want, right. The A's went down to Las Vegas, got in some binding agreement.
Yeah, we've heard that word before.
Haven't we? And then said, we need $500 million in public funding. Which is insane by itself.
Right.
But if you're going to do that, to have the audacity to do that, while the team that you're wanting to relocate is now, what are they, 6-30, 5-30?
I think I did the math right. They are on pace for 130 plus losses.
That is so hard to do. They're 6-24. They've played 30 games. They're 6-24. That is a 200 winning percentage.
What's the most losses a team has ever had in a season before?
To your 20?
To your point too about the even the worst part about being an A's fan has to be, even when you do have those glimmers of hope of like, oh my God, this prospect might be something. Matt Olson, Matt Chapman, Marcus Semien, homegrown guy. They're gone. Like it's built into the reality of being a fan that you can't even really get attached. You can't buy a jersey for a guy.
Yeah.
Because odds have it that, like you're saying, in 3-4, whenever it becomes most convenient for the team to sell him off, he's gone. Like with everybody.
You just know it. You just know it. It's not maybe.
No, it is they are not going to be a part of this team they're not going to get a second good contract.
Right.
That's what they better do well on this exact structure they have now. And I mean, the A's they sent even Sean Murphy, where it's like, can you hold on to that guy? Like,
right. They could have had Sean Murphy for a couple more years.
Yeah, just hold on to him.
They
Trade him. Why hold on to him when we're going to suck anyways? Might as well suck everywhere, right?
Kyle Muller, who started opening day.
Ugh.
And a bunch of my friends who were locked into the A's were like, no, nothing.
Who is that guy? Our PD Bryant is a Braves guy. Muller came from the Braves. He was like, he's like a fifth starter, rotational guy. Opening day, your ace.
Yes, right. Just to answer your question on the worst regular seasons of all time.
Yes. 130. There's no way
the New York Mets went 40-120. That was in 1962. That's the only they have the 8th worst season of all time from a winning percentage perspective. And that was in 1962. It's the only one after the year 1935. The A's currently have the 3rd worst winning percentage of all time, behind the Cleveland Spiders back in 1899. They went 20-134.
Okay.
And the Pittsburgh Alleghenies, of course, the great Pittsburgh Alleghenies.
Yeah.
I hate that we all know what Allegheny County is because of elections.
In 1890, they went 23-13, and then there's the A's at 6-24.
Oof.
They're on pace to have the worst season in their modern era.
And there's no reason to think it's going to get better, right? Like Ramon Laureano is going to come off IL.
The only thing that they're hoping for is that the Royals have a worse season.
The Royals 7-23.
Oh, that's a race I'm going to watch.
Dialed in to that A's Royals race to the bottom.
Yeah. Stay tuned right here. We're gonna keep track.
And
on
it's
that
not
race
like this is the Astros sucked on purpose,
right?
Because they were building out a team that
Trust
was
the process.
Carlos Correa and Jose Altuve, and all these guys that they were going to George Springer, all these guys that they were going to build up and be awesome and win a World Series. The A's aren't even doing that.
No, they have no intentions of winning anytime soon. And that's the thing.
They might be the worst organization in sports right now,
especially with the Kings now finding success. I don't know who Detroit Lions. Even they're starting to find success. Cleveland Browns continue to make horrible decisions, but they've at least found some wins here recently. Jaguars, could have made
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
I
don't even know if there's really a close second at this point.
Like, at least the Knicks made the playoffs.
Knicks made the playoffs.
Washington is being sold. Dan Snyder selling Washington.
Yep. Even the basketball team is just
the Suns and Robert
forever.
Sarver got sold. The Cardinals are a sneaky dumpster fire.
Arizona.
Cardinals.
Yeah, especially
Sneaky
after
dumpster fire.
that player survey.
Michael
them
Bidwell
having to
is
pay
a
for
mess.
their own. Them having to pay for their own meals.
But the A's are
Oh no, they probably are.
Just a
head and shoulders. Head and shoulders.
So brutal. Monty McNair, the NBA's Executive of the Year, coming up in about 15 minutes. On the other side, the Sacramento Kings did something. We've been talking awards a lot today. The Sacramento Kings did something in award season that no other team did. And it's not the amount of awards they won.
Okay.
I'll tell you what it was on the other side. Chris and Company on Sactown Sports.
It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The Coach of the Year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The Clutch Player of the Year.
Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years.
16 seasons of frustration. Sacramento has clinched the playoffs.
Keep it on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for all your Kings off-season news.
Everyone knows Elk Grove Kia is home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new Kia. But did you also know that Elk Grove Kia is your one-stop place for used cars? I'm talking over 300 used cars available. With Kia's certified program with its 165-point quality assurance inspection, we know peace of mind on used cars is important. And that's why we also offer extended service agreements on all our used makes and models. Most prices are under Kelley Blue Book retail. New car protection at used car prices. From used sports cars to used delivery vans, we got them all at Elk Grove Kia. And our financing folks have over 100 years of combined experience. So we approve just about everyone. No credit, little credit, bad credit, no problem. And Elk Grove Kia is proud of our don't like it, bring it back guarantee for up to 3 days or 150 miles, no questions asked. Why would you buy your used car anywhere else? So check us out online at elkgrovekia.com today.
Turn your highway into a smile way. Elk Grove Kia.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. CordellCordell.com.
Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an IMAX 2D and 3D experience.
It's time to save the universe. Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by.
See Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the largest screen in Sacramento. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for tickets and reserved seating. Select showtimes in 3D. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club to receive special member pricing on tickets and more at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back this weekend at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Fred Aldridge,
What you doing, baby? Don't you?
and so many more. Plus a Blue Scoop Wine Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 340, and Stonies of Rock and Rodeo.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in Radio Land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Art Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Art Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized art support, fitting, and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
YouTube chat's cracking right now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Let's see here. Man, we got a lot of likes here. 85 current viewers, 75 likes.
I see 76.
76.
Keegan Murray Watch said, unfortunately, we're going to have to change some parts to be true contenders. I kind of agree with that.
Going to have to change some parts. To
yeah,
be
like
true
it's not like, hey, just keep this.
Yeah, you can't
and then
run
take
this
it
back.
Yeah, no doubt.
No.
Like the idea is there, but there needs to be some kind of building and growth where like Kevin Huerter can't be your primary option when Darren Fox is hurt.
Do you think HB will now invite Keegan Murray to his wedding next time? I mean, he clearly just said they need to upgrade at that Barnes position. That's what I heard from Keegan Murray right there.
That's Keegan Murray Watch on YouTube. It wasn't Keegan Murray. Although that would be really funny if Keegan Murray's burner was Keegan Murray Watch.
Keegan Murray Watch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I mean, no,
I kind of agree. I tend to agree.
Yeah, I don't think
anyone disagrees.
No, I don't think that they could run back this exact lineup, this exact team, and expect the same result. Honestly, I think again, like I think it was a really weird year across the league. A lot of moves happened at the deadline that made teams better and worse. And, the West is not even the West. Let's just talk the Kings Pacific Division. Even next season is going to still have Steph and Clay. It's still going to have LeBron and AD. We're now going to have a full season of KD and Booker. Clippers, who knows what they do? They might still try and run it back. Kawhi's not playing next year, but Paul George, Russell Westbrook, I guess. It's going to be tough. Like, I don't know if the Kings are going to be able to have, like, which is, again, a reason why we should definitely try and, while we're still near this season, try and embrace it as much as we can, because it might not get this good ever again. It might not.
Our YouTube commenter, Keegan Murray Watch, confirms they're not Keegan. They just track Keegan Murray stats.
That's exactly what Keegan Murray would say.
That's exactly what Keegan would say.
Sure thing, Keegan. Maybe it's Chris, his brother. I'm joking.
Nah, he's got to work out for pre-draft.
I'm joking.
He'll be a Sacramento King soon enough.
Yeah, you're convinced.
It's happening. Like it's one of those like it's happening. There's no doubt. He fits, kind of.
I don't think the Kings should keep in mind as I say this. I want this caveat. I don't think the Kings should be blowing anything up. I don't think it's like you got to trade Sabonis now, and I'm not on that. Sabonis should stay. It's a very good NBA player. The thing that the Kings did in award season that no other team did, aside from win 3 awards, they had 2 players get MVP votes. Darren Fox and Domantas Sabonis both got MVP votes, as they should have. Absolutely. And I think there was an argument. You made the argument that Domas was the MVP of the regular season for the Kings. I think that's probably right. Darren, obviously the playoff MVP, but
I think Domas got more of the first place, or I'm sorry, I think they both got 5th place votes. I think Domas got like 10 5th place votes or something.
He put up unbelievable numbers.
Right.
Like
Jokic and him, the only 2 people putting up numbers.
So that would make it believable.
What?
That there's another person also putting up those numbers. So it's not unbelievable.
See what you did there.
God, there's,
You want to know like the thing that does like bother me? Not a lot of things bother me, but the word unbelievable does, because it happened. So it is believable.
Well, because it happened doesn't mean you believe it.
Yeah. Right. But it happened, so it is believable.
Like prior to that, I would not have believed that could have happened.
But now that it has happened.
What if I say that was unbelievable? Like prior to this happening, I couldn't believe it.
Okay.
But now, obviously.
That's just like one of my pet peeves. Like when there's a play in a game. Unbelievable.
I can't. Yeah.
We just witnessed it. And we've probably witnessed it before.
Okay, fine.
I like this corner. I like that corner, Chris.
Of course.
Yeah. I don't agree with it, but I appreciate
Chris is out on the word unbelievable.
Yeah.
You're out on everything.
I'm out on everything else.
Cool.
Because we watched it happen. We saw it with our own eyes. It is very believable that it happened.
It's just a word we use.
Like unbelievable would be like an alien came down and
but you've seen it happen.
Huh?
But
unbelievable. Like it would be unbelievable if aliens came down, took Steph Curry back to their home, and he won the league in their Martian league. That would be unbelievable.
That's just Space Jam.
I think Steph
you just said the plot of Space Jam.
I'm pretty sure he could take the Monstars.
I think he could.
I'm pretty sure he could.
Speaking of Steph, JR wants to talk about Steph Curry. JR, if you start to say a joke, I'm going to hang up on you. Go ahead.
Hey, this show's unbelievable. I'll tell you right now.
That's good.
That's good.
Right,
that's good. That was a good.
What do you got on Steph?
Yeah. Well, he's a piece of trash. And I got to agree with Chris. I think you've said it all along, brother. You know, he just got this attitude. Did you see last night when LeBron follows him along the bench?
Yeah.
To this.
I did.
And that's what I just said. We have two a-holes, and they're the greatest ball players. They're fun. Of course, incredible basketball players,
right.
But such a-holes. I mean, just straight up, like that's the guy that falls into the bench. Well, Curry doesn't say anything, and then you're like, yeah, the same guy that said, hit the beam, whatever he did on Game 7.
Yeah, that was
Curry did. I'm like, did you really have to say that? Why? In your commercials, the water tastes terrible. CarMax is horrible. Subway sandwiches suck.
Hey, don't forget he promoted FTX as well. Thanks, Jay.
Oh, I do love the off the court L's for Steph.
lot of off court L's for Steph this year. I think caught an on court L last night.
Gosh.
Hey, Monty McNair's about to talk. The executive of the year in the NBA, Monty McNair.
Let's get to it.
Really interested to hear. What are you hoping gets asked of Monty McNair? Actually, you know what? Let's answer that on the other side.
Okay.
We're going to break real quick.
Thank you.
We're going to ask what we hope Monty McNair gets asked, and then we will get to Monty McNair. It's Chris and Company. That's Chris. I'm Kyle, the Company on Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
They will be facing off with the Los Angeles Lakers game number 1 on Tuesday night.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back,
now Jason's sad.
You made Jason sad with your music.
You made Jason sad.
You played the music.
You told me to play it. I am the producer. I produce.
I disagree.
Okay. Wow.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to 3 key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Sacramento area attorneys. 500 cap.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopier.com.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, and no realtor commissions. Call 916-299-6040. That's 916-299-6040 or bridgehavenhomes.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
When you hear the words, the whole store is on sale, if you're like me, you're thinking, this is worth my attention. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word or two about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now, Naturewood's whole store is on sale during their exceptional home sale. Now your mind is probably doing backflips trying to decide where to start. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Or maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, or accents and accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide home sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stickley, Artisan Home, Stanton, Flex Steel, Omnia, and all the rest of our award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable home sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the flagship station of your Sacramento Kings.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. The NBA announced today that Kings general manager Monty McNair has been named Executive of the Year. This is the first time a Sacramento general manager has won Executive of the Year since Jeff Petrie in 2001. This is also the third Kings End of the Season award after Darren Fox won the Clutch Player of the Year and Mike Brown won the Coach of the Year. There's only one NBA game today, that is the Philadelphia 76ers at the Boston Celtics. Yesterday it was announced that Joel Embiid was named the NBA MVP. Today, he made an announcement of his own. According to the Athletics' Shams Charania, Embiid told his teammates that he is back and will be playing in Game 2. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and company with Kyle Madson.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
NBA Executive of the Year, Monty McNair, will speak shortly. As soon as he gets to the podium, we will carry that for you right here on Sactown Sports. You can also check it out at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. What are you hoping he gets asked, Chris?
I mean, it might be
You got to
obvious.
ask about Harrison Barnes.
Right. You have to ask about Harrison Barnes with his contract now being technically over for the Sacramento Kings. And it's a really big decision because we've talked about how that's kind of the most obvious spot for an upgrade. Harrison was pretty underwhelming in the playoff series and kind of has a tendency to come in and out of importance throughout the season. To me, that it's a really big decision because you're either going to sign him long-term. Like Harrison's 30. This is his last opportunity to get a lengthy, big contract.
Right.
I have a tough time thinking that he's going to take a hometown discount, or whatever you want to call it, but a discount to return back to the Kings. I'm also just curious what his value is in general. But I think just what the Kings do with the decision on Harrison Barnes is going to be very indicative of how they're going to try and attack next season, which, mind you, again, is Domantas Sabonis' contract year as well. They need to still convince him that this is a place that he should want to stay.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how big of a swing they try and make at that position. Do they just sign up for continuity?
What would you do with Harrison Barnes? And is there a number where you're like, I'm bringing him back at $13 million a year?
Yeah.
Or
I think it's
let him walk.
I think if you can get him at a contract that you feel is maybe like a low-end starter, high-end bench player, so that you could have the flexibility to potentially move him to a bench role. Because I think he's an excellent bench player. He's a guy who's really toolsy. He's got a ton of stuff he can do. It's just when you're relying on him to perform the way that the Kings need it. You just can't. And so you need somebody else at that position. I want an upgrade. I wouldn't mind exploring sign and trade options. I'd be lying to you if I could explain to you how those really materialize in the NBA, especially in free agency. They seem just kind of like it has to be a perfect marriage between the two teams.
Well, Harrison Barnes,
he would have to agree to it as well. He would have to first pick a team, and then the Kings would have to look at a player that makes sense for both teams. But yeah.
Hey, we'll find out right now. Here is NBA Executive of the Year, Monty McNair, at his end of season press conference.
Since I came here about kind of a short-term goal of making the playoffs, I'm happy to finally have that box checked. But it also means now on to the next goal of building this thing into a long-term playoff team, win some rounds in the playoffs, and ultimately contend for a title like we've talked. So the job's never done. We know we got work to do, but happy to take questions. All right, James, all right.
Yeah, Monty, first of all, congratulations on Executive of the Year. Secondly, you've built a staff here, you've built a culture here over your 3 years. How good does it feel to actually see it work out? I mean, when you take a job like this that many had failed in before, it's not a sure thing, but you guys have really turned the corner here. And where's your sweater vest?
We were just talking about that on the way over. My signature vest it was lucky for parts, but it's in the wash right now. So, but yeah, no. First of all, thanks to Vivek for just his faith in me and my group, and we got the group back there who I've mentioned many times, but Wes, Phil, Paul, Alvin, on and on down for our front office. It's a lot of work, but that went into it. But those guys do a ton. But I think, we always have, I think the faith that in the decisions we're making, that we think it will work out. We're putting ourselves in a good position, but it's always nice to have the validation. We got a lot of that this year. We know there's more to go, but it's certainly nice to see the results, manifest on the floor.
Monty, it's been almost a year since you hired Mike Brown. When you first came in, you talked about the solo organization. That seemed like it's bearing itself out right now. Just want to get your thoughts on that, because yesterday he did talk about the connectivity up and down the line. Just mentioned Vivek. He mentioned the team together yesterday. Just want to get your thoughts about how that come together as far as being a solo organization.
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, Mike's unanimous Coach of the Year speaks for itself, and the job that him and his staff did, fantastic. And I think I've talked a lot about too. I know my strengths and weaknesses, and Mike's a fantastic compliment to him. He's an incredible culture builder. We saw from day one all the way through the ups and downs of the season. We got a pretty young team, and to be able to coach them, get the most out of them. Prepare them. We had, I don't even know, 5 or 6 guys, I think, make their playoff debut this year. And to take the defending champs to 7, to have those guys continue to respond while still having a voice that they listen to through all that is, what makes them special.
Yeah, I just want to ask you about 2 specific player situations in the offseason. Starting with Sabonis, obviously his extension eligible. The CBA has altered the rules a little bit. How do you view, do you feel like that is a conversation that will be explored?
Yeah, Domas is obviously an all-star this year. I think should be all NBA along with De'Aaron, so we'll find that out soon. But yeah, Domas is a huge part of obviously what we do, and we're gonna, do all we can to keep him here and build around him.
And then Barnes is probably your highest profile free agent. Just what's your view on his potential future?
Yeah, no, I think for us, look, we're, I don't even know, 3-4 days away from a pretty painful end. So we're going to sit down and have all those conversations. Obviously, Harrison's been a fantastic part of our team, a vet leader, and one of 2 guys with championship experience for us, which was a big part of getting our young guys ready to go. So we'll have all those conversations in the coming weeks.
Monty, Mike has said even yesterday and throughout the year that to go to the next level is going to be even harder than what you guys achieved making the playoffs. Just what's that look like in your mind, that the team taking that next step towards perennially contending and then potentially, becoming a championship type team?
One great thing is when you're able to kind of break through into the playoffs with a team, as young as ours, it gives you the chance to have a nice long playoff run and have a lot of success in the playoffs. It doesn't guarantee anything. So we know we got a lot of work to do. 48 wins is fantastic for this group, but teams that go deep in the playoffs are usually winning in the 50s or higher. So we know we got to continue to improve, and that's going to come internally and externally. So, we got I think a great group here. Those guys showed what they have the potential to do. And now, Mike and I both talked about it at the end of the season, big off season, years to come to continue to grow and continue to learn from this playoff exit and what can we do to go further. But, we're always going to have to continue to improve this team no matter what, because as we'll see, whether it's staff, players, you're going to have to replace guys even if you're having success. So, that's just the challenge for us going forward.
Monty, what did you see from your two All-Stars throughout the course of this season, not only as individuals, but as a pairing? And how does it change roster construction for you when you have those two guys locked in?
We do a lot of, kind of planning and forecasting of what it's going to look like. And we talked about it when we initially traded for Domas and our vision, but until it comes together, it's, you're not sure exactly what it's going to look like. But those two guys have just, I think, surpassed expectations, both individually and with each other. And then really ultimately with how their teammates play off of them and play with them. So, seeing that's been great. Those two guys they not only are great individually, they make the game easier for others, but guys love to play with them. Their unselfishness, their ability to make their teammates better, their personalities, all those things give us a chance to be pretty special.
Yeah, Monty, one of the first things you did when you got the job was give Darren Fox that max extension. I'm curious now, 3 years later, where have you seen him grow the most, maybe as a player and a person?
I think Darren certainly made some strides this year. We all saw that, but on the other hand, and a lot of people in this room, I think, saw what Darren could do. And in a lot of ways, it's just the national media, the public catching up to that, him being on a bigger spotlight in the playoffs. But to go into your first playoffs and do what he did, and then to continue to do it with, playing through an injury, and come up just one half short is incredible. And, and now he knows it's on him to continue to grow and lead this team and take us deeper into the playoffs. But he had a fantastic season, and he's going to get a ton of accolades. He already has, and they're well deserved. And he's going to continue to grow as not just a player but a leader for us, like he's done.
Hey, Monty, what would you what would you identify as maybe your priority heading into this offseason? And would that be any different than maybe what it had been around, say, trade deadline? As the evolution of the season goes on, did it change at all as you enter to the point where you are now?
No, I think it's always good to see our guys, and I think almost every challenge that came up, if they didn't knock it out the first time, they were able to overcome it pretty quickly. And so seeing our guys do that, not just in the regular season, but then you get down 3-2 to the champs, you got to go to their home court, and we win by whatever it was, 18, 19 points. Obviously game 7 didn't go the way we want, but that's a big step, that game 6 win. All that stuff is going to factor in. We got to sit down here, take a breath, hug our families for a little bit, but then we'll get back to it next week, and we'll have all those conversations about how do we go forward. But we have a fantastic group here. We have a lot of youth, which means that those guys have room to grow. But it also means that there's a challenge for them to continue to grow. It's not, nothing is guaranteed, as we know in this business. And so, we had, I don't even know, 5 or 6 guys in the building today, which is a great sign. And we know those guys are going to work, but it's just going to get harder each step from here. And, continuing to answer those challenges is going to be, what's put in front of us.
Monty, congratulations, first of all, on the award and everything this year. How much flexibility, positional flexibility, do you see in the group you have, and specifically like the 3, 4, 5 spots? Do you guys see Keegan as a guy who, depending on like what's available to you in the offseason, could Keegan move from one spot or another between the 3 and the 4? Would you consider, Domas flexible in terms of the 4 and 5 spots?
I think we have a lot of versatility, which has been good. Throughout the season, I think we saw Keegan guard 4s. He guarded Jordan Poole to start a couple of the playoff games. So his versatility on the defensive end for sure. I think we saw offensively what he can do. Domas, we've seen. I think again, he's played with centers before that are bigger than him, and he can play, I think, both positions on both ends, which gives us the ability to kind of have options to build around. But it's certainly important. The more of that you have, the more options it gives you down the road, the more options it gives coach in a game or throughout a season. And I think we had some pretty good versatility with our guys, which is just another nice thing to have. But the ability to just start with De'Aaron and Domas and be able to fill in around those guys. So many guys can play with them, and they'll make them look good. That it makes our job a little easier.
Monty, first off, congratulations. Domas said he was going to a specialist on Monday. I wonder if you have an update on his medical status, if he will need surgery or not.
No update right now, but knowing Domas, he is as tough as they come. Whatever he needs to do, I know he'll be ready to go next year, but no update right now.
Monty, I'm curious about the timeline for this team getting to the playoffs from when you got hired. If this was ahead of schedule, if this was later than, I'm sure it was later than you would have liked. You would have liked it right when you got here. But the timeline with that, and then the amount of success that you had this year with Mike Brown his first year, if that was kind of ahead of schedule in your mind.
I think I was talking about it with a few folks, but it was obviously we would have loved to make the playoffs my first year, but the way that it happened this year, especially with the COVID restrictions and different things with not fans not allowed in the buildings and those types of things, it would have been a bit of a letdown if we didn't have the fans were absolutely amazing. Couldn't even hear announcer Scott for the player intros in game one. And so that part I think was special. Again, we try not to put a timeline on it. We said we want to make the playoffs as soon as we can, such that we can, build this thing out. And, I think we're in that position. So I would say, a success for step one and on to step two.
Monty, hey, way back here.
Yeah.
A little over a year ago, last February, you had pulled the trigger on acquiring Domantas through the trade, giving away Tyrese Halliburton. At the time, needless to say, was met with some heated opinions, even criticism of some sort. You look a year later, you're sitting up there, executive of the year, and, had this incredible, successful season. I know you're a very humble person, but is that kind of like a I told you so kind of moment, just trusting the process and good things will happen?
If I knew we would be here right now, maybe I would have said it at the time. But again, we felt very good in what Domas could do for us and how he would pair with De'Aaron. We still had a lot of work to do. We had a big summer after that really helped to fill in around those guys and solidify what ended up being the playoff team. But look, we know when fans or media or whoever is saying something about a transaction, what they're really saying is like, I want this to work out. And so sitting here this year, it just means that, we're happy that we've reached this point. Again, we'll continue to take bets that we think have a good chance to work out. We're not gonna bat 1,000. So there's going to be other times where we take them and they don't work out, but we've had a nice run. Credit to my group there for pushing me on a lot of them, and credit to Mike and the players for ultimately putting it all together. So, we talk a lot about like the individuals we bring in and the talent level and who they are as human beings, but you never know what it's going to be, especially when you have a ton of turnover like we had. New coaching staff. I think we turned over half the roster. You don't know what it's going to look like. And so credit to those guys. I know they had a lot of great comments the other day about the, just the camaraderie that the team had and how they were all pulling for each other. How Mike and their staff helped do that. And so to me, that's the special part, is seeing it all come together, and not knowing what's going to happen.
Monty, I'm curious, after this remarkable season, if there was one decision maybe that sticks out more to you that helped you get over the hump of getting the season to the playoffs, or if you think, it's also paired with some luck and a bunch of decisions that were made.
Yeah, I don't think it was one. It was, look, like I said, we try to, each decision, we try to put ourselves in a better spot. And we've had big trades. We've had signings. We've had hirings, obviously coach. All those things go into it. And certainly a nice little sprinkle of luck here and there doesn't hurt. But it's never one thing. And I think this time in particular, it was many, many things. And not just the guys that we brought in, the guys that were here, who took steps, who bought into what, a new coaching staff was preaching, fit in with their new teammates. So there's a ton of credit to go around, and it's testament to all those folks.
Monty, I know part of the draft process for you guys is projecting out players, and you have models that help you do that. I'm curious how Keegan did relative to what you projected for him. I know obviously you guys are high on him, and Mike talks about him, being in a rare position as a lottery pick who's starting for a playoff team. But just in general, how did Keegan perform this season relative to your expectations, and what do you need him to improve upon going into next year?
Yeah, I was hoping I was be able to read off Keegan Berry Rookie of the Year on here, but that was not to be. But a rookie who started 7 games in a playoff series, was, if not, I believe, the most winning impact rookie on the court this year. And while we didn't ask him to come in and shoot 30 shots, he certainly could have. I mean, he was the leading scorer in college basketball last year. But to come in and know what we need, which is actually defend multiple positions, hit shots, cut to the basket, play off our veterans. I thought it was a fantastic year for him. I wish I could say I knew he was going to come in and shoot 40% and hit over 200 threes, but testament to him, he came in and surpassed expectations. And for him, it's just, I think he said it, just continued learning experience. I think we even saw the playoffs being a microcosm of his season, and hopefully what his career is to come. And he just got better and better as the playoff series went on, and was one of our best players in game 6 and 7. So I think I wish he had gotten more accolades, but the good thing about Keegan is he doesn't care, and he knows that he contributed to winning, and we're going to need him to just continue to take on more and more going forward, and he's going to be able to do that, I think.
Monty, 2 things. Number one, like mid-season, you didn't even have a contract for next season, and that was like a big topic of debate, and here you are with Executive of the Year. How much does that what does it mean to you to get that and to know that you're going to be here long term? And then also, every time we hear Monty, it's always Monty and Wes. How much has Wes meant to you in this 3-year journey as you've taken on your first job?
Well, I think my wife is the most happy, so we can settle in. This is actually, I think I mentioned this before, but this is the first house I've bought. We rented in Houston. We lived, I think, in 8 places in 9 years. So it's just nice to call something home. And, my kids love it here. And so that part's fantastic. In addition to all the people, in the organization that we get to work with and be around, and, you guys and the community has been fantastic. But I know it's Wes gets mentioned a lot, and he does a ton for us. And, he would then point to Phil, and who runs our draft process. And I get to take credit for all Phil's fantastic lottery picks. And then Phil would point to Paul, who was the GM of the year in Stockton, and Paul would point on down the line. So, and I talked about it too. We're going to, the sign of a good organization is that people are going to move on, and Wes is going to be a GM again someday. He's already built a 60-win team, which I haven't even got to 50 yet. So, like Phil and Paul, who I just mentioned, are going to run a team someday, and we're going to have to backfill them. And I hope those things come, because it means it's healthy for our organization. But yeah, it's a group effort, and those guys do a ton. And especially the times when I'm not at my best, which as they can say, happens probably more often than I'd like, but those guys keep pulling me through.
You talk about needing or wanting to take the leap next year. Your regular season statistical profile would obviously scream defense, but you did defend at times in that first round series much better than the regular season. How much do you take from what you saw in the playoffs defensively, and do you expect the priority still to be kind of to improve on that end going into the offseason?
The biggest thing is, as we talked about, a 48-win team is a success for us this year, but we're going to have to build on that and continue to try to be better. Our net rating was in the 2 to 3 range. That's going to have to improve. And so whether that comes from, if we get somehow out of the number one offense and get that to +5 or +6, great. I think more likely that comes from the defensive end, just given where we were respectively on each end of the court. And, and Mike's going to always say our defense isn't good enough, even when that's number one too, which is what makes him great. But yeah, our goal is going to be, how do we improve, whether it's maintain our offense and make our defense better. Does that come from internal improvement? Do we need something externally to help that? Can we improve both? That would be my goal. I think our offense showed a lot this year, but like you said, our defense at times showed what it can do. And to guard those guys, how we did for stretches. Obviously I know Mike pointed to some of the offensive rebounding in game 7. There were, it wasn't perfect, but we guarded, and we can do it. We can be better just with what we got here. And we'll continue to look at ways to improve that externally also. But we know we got to get the ball's got to continue to be pushed forward for us to get where we want to go.
Monty, Jeff Petrie, he's just getting back to the executive of the year. Of course, Jeff won it several years ago. Now you and Pete Carrillo, he's been part of this organization. I do want to highlight that Mitch Henderson won on this floor. They beat Arizona. Do you take any stock, coming from an Ivy League institution, and take any stock in, what you do and how it affected your career?
Well, I appreciate you putting my name in with, Jeff Petrie, who's a 20-point-a-game scorer and rookie of the year, and Coach Carrillo, who's a Hall of Famer, Mitch Henderson, who's pretty iconic in Princeton basketball lore. You won't find my name in many Princeton record books, but you can. I did have one touchdown catch. If you want to look it up, Tony. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to have a little bit of a Princeton kind of thread running through here. I was actually bummed that I didn't get to see the Sweet 16 run here. I was out on the road scouting, but that part's cool. But just a little footnote to I think what really matters here, which is what our players are doing, the fans and their experiences. And it's we're best viewed when we're not the spotlight. When we're just sitting back and watching our guys go out and compete and win. And so that's what I think is the most special.
There's Monty McNair, NBA Executive of the Year. Lots of interesting stuff to get into there. But the question I want to answer on the other side is, he said it was a successful step 1 for the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's on to step 2. What does step 2 look like? We'll talk about that next. That's Chris Watkins. I'm Kyle Madson. This is Chris and Company on Sactown Sports 1140.
It's Cattles and Rami.
Did Kelly get weirded out by how into games you get? Because my girlfriend she's getting used to it. When I'm like, oh, that's not a foul. Yeah, that's okay. I guess that's not a foul. Yeah, all right. I got to work on my language is pretty bad when watching games. Gotta work on that.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Wednesday forecast looks like a mixed bag out there. Sun, clouds, maybe a stray shower for the afternoon. You expect to see temperatures a little warmer with highs in the upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Plumbing, electrical, heating and air, everything that makes your home your home. With Bonnie, you sure got that covered. And right now, get your air conditioner tuned up for just $79. Originally $129. Bonnie.com.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit. Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an IMAX 2D and 3D experience.
It's time to save the universe. Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by.
See Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the largest screen in Sacramento. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for tickets and reserved seating. Select showtimes in 3D. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club to receive special member pricing on tickets and more at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Don't miss the wine event of the year, the Lodi Wine Experience, May 19th and 20th. Saturday's event features hundreds of Lodi wines from more than 40 wineries, the region's best food trucks, including Cousin's Maine Lobster, Nash and Proper, Park Sparks Barbecue, guided wine seminars, and more. The Lodi Wine Experience, May 19th and 20th, an iconic weekend of world-class wines, delicious food, and live music at Lodi Lake Park. Tickets at LodiWineExperience.com. Must be 21 and over. Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back this weekend at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Eldridge,
what you doing, baby? Don't you?
and so many more. Plus a booth scoop line dance saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 340, and Stonies Rockin' Rodeo.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Just heard from Monty McNair, the GM, or the executive of the year, not the GM, the executive of the year. A lot of interesting things about there was one thing I want to clear up real quick. He said that in an answer about Harrison Barnes and his future with the team, he said we're a few days away from a very painful ending. I think he was talking about they're a few days removed from Game 7, and they have not yet discussed Harrison Barnes' future. He wasn't saying, hey, we're a few days away from this Harrison Barnes thing getting real ugly. Yeah, that wasn't – I wanted to clear that up because I think there was a little confusion over that in the chat. But he danced around the Harrison Barnes question, of course. Basically –
said we'll have those convos in a couple weeks. At that point, we'll decide, and whatever happens, happens.
The expected.
They literally don't have to make a decision right now.
Yeah. Then it'd be wild if he was just like, nah, he's not coming back. That guy?
Yeah, give him the Dillon Brooks treatment.
Under no circumstances.
Could you imagine if a GM told a player like, hey, we're not bringing you back under any circumstances?
Yeah,
I can't imagine that ever happening.
No, that's
unbelievable.
That's unbelievable, dude. That is absolutely I actually couldn't believe that.
We're almost to 90 likes on YouTube. Hit that little thumbs up if you're in there. And if you haven't already, you don't have to hit it again. If you've not hit it though, hit that little thumbs up right below the video. Try to get to 90. We're kicking the morning show's rear end.
They don't stand a chance.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that for us. I love that for our viewers and listeners. The big thing that caught my ear there was he got asked about the team's timeline and whether they were ahead of schedule or what he thought. And he more or less said, no necessarily timeline, but we're at step one. We had a successful step one. Now it's on to the next step. What does that look like?
You're asking me? I don't know. I think.
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I wasn't sure if you were just, stating and then going to elaborate.
Sure. Okay, I got you.
I think the next step is probably getting better at that Harrison Barnes spot. I mean, I think it's adding more length, which was a priority heading into this season as well. Length and shooting was something Monty talked quite a bit about at last year's exit interview press conference. This year, it didn't give any specifics, but if I had to imagine, it would be they need a lot more, like Jason was talking about as well earlier on today. The Kings lacked a certain amount of front court depth and front court defensive-minded guys. I think if they could go for, those more rangy 6'7" to 6'9" wing forward combo guys that can defend and also knock down threes at a 36% clip.
Yep.
To me, they need like Jared Vanderbilt was the kind of guy that they talked about. Someone like that.
Man, he would have been great.
Even again, I always bring up someone like Josh Okogie or Torrey Craig. Those kind of wing, just depth wing guys they really need, as well as somebody, I think, again, like someone to replace Harrison Barnes in that spot.
I'm officially jumping on the Kessler Edwards bandwagon.
Okay.
Give me more Kessler Edwards.
I think that's a totally fine answer, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets significant minutes, but even Mike Brown said he's more of a 2-3 than a 3-4.
And that can't be right. And that can't be your answer.
That can't be your answer.
That
right.
is
that was the answer at the deadline, and let me tell you, people were very underwhelmed.
It makes sense.
Yeah. That can't be your big addition.
Contribute in playoff series. Then.
Right.
No, so Jesse _916 in the YouTube chat says, get more talent and losing the Western Conference Finals. That's the next step. To me, playoff, but winning playoff series is so like matchup dependent.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we just saw that. Yeah.
Right. And I don't want to put like a hard, like they have to get to this round of the playoffs, and that will be step 2.
Right.
Step 2 for me is like when they roll out a team next year, their roster, we're looking at it going, hey, this team should win 50 plus and look good.
Right.
Like look better. There's going to be tangible growth like on the court.
Right. And Monty kind of pointed at that as well, where he was like, 48 wins, great season, but the teams that you traditionally see contending, like actually contending, those are 55, 60 win teams. And so that was good to hear that acknowledgement as well of, we talked about it right before Monty went on, like, cool, good season. Let's run that back. Maybe we can. No, that doesn't seem to be what the plan is. There is clear room for improvement. They acknowledge that it was a good season. It can even get better. And that's what I like to hear is not being like, all right, we tried so hard to get to this place of non-mediocrity, not being a laughing stock. Let's just chill here for a minute.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, none of that. The Kings are going to try and compete for titles, which is something that was always my complaint through the drought was playoffs should not be the goal. Making the playoffs is not a goal for any other franchise. That's not acceptable.
There's all these big swings to try and catch lightning in a bottle.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. You got to try. If you're going to try and win these things, you have to try and build for a championship. You can't try and build to be a 5, 6, 7, 8 seed. You have to try and be those top 4, top 3 seeds year after year after year, or else what are you doing?
I really wish he would have been asked about Vesnikov.
Yeah, I think, I mean, he should have at least been asked about it for sure. I can, if, I know Monty, like I think I do, he would dance around that one as well.
But just would like to have an idea of what they're thinking.
Right. Because the other day, Sean was on this very program saying he not completely, I don't think it was sourced or anything, but he said 90% sure that Sasha's going to come over. That also builds into the team building as well, because that's, what do you do with Trey Lyles? Does that impact what you do with Harrison Barnes? I'm curious how they view Sasha. Do they view Sasha as a guy who can come in and instantly be a starter? Or is he somebody who, they're going to try and slowly work in?
Yeah.
Definitely would have liked to hear something about it.
You know what you would have heard?
Just everything.
We're taking a few days.
Yeah.
That's
an ongoing situation.
We've been in contact with him.
He's a great player.
Yeah, we're really excited about him, but no decision's been made there.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
you would. Monty McNair is like an expert at doing this, not even coach speak, but just talking around a point without directly answering anything at all.
Which I appreciate. I understand. I get there's an art to that.
Yeah.
But
can you give us something?
Give
us just a little nugget.
Give me a nugget.
You really have to read between the lines to find any sort of even me.
A lot of conjecture.
He wrote, he said in there, you can replace guys even if you're having success.
Yeah.
To me, that could maybe point at a Harrison Barnes.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Well,
let's
put a pin in that, because he talked about some individuals.
Yeah.
We discussed the Harrison Barnes thing, Keegan Murray, Domas.
Yep.
Let's talk about what Monty McNair said about that stuff. And then at 1:00, 49ers ESPN reporter for the 49ers, Nick Wagner. He's going to join us at 1:00, and we're going to dive into a little bit of NFL since we've mostly been neglecting that. That's coming up next on Chris and Company on Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy
going to throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Deebo 10. Deebo. Touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED?
And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The folks at M&S Auto know that inflation is tough on everybody. If you need an excellent, gently used car or truck, M&S has hundreds of vehicles on the lot on El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. M&S customers get great deals and they save thousands. Get a great deal now on super clean 4x4s, including Tacomas, Silverados, and Jeeps, and muscle cars, Challengers, Teslas, Mustangs, and even the occasional McLaren. M&S Auto, msautogroup.com.
The newest, most exciting race cars are coming to WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca May 12th through 14th for the Motul Course de Monterey, powered by Hyundai. North America's premier sports car series brings intense wheel-to-wheel racing. And there's plenty of family fun too, including go-karts, a Ferris wheel, and a kids zone. Get your tickets now by calling 831-242-8200. That's 831-242-8200. Or visit WeatherTechRaceway.com. Enjoy Mother's Day weekend May 12th through 14th in beautiful Monterey.
Ace fans need Friday night plans? Well, we got you covered. Get 4 tickets and parking for any Friday night game starting at just $49 with the Friday 4-pack presented by Chevrolet. Save big and enjoy great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more this 2023 season.
He drills one to right, way back, and no doubt, and that quickly the A's have taken the lead. Second deck.
Friday night tickets are available at athletics.com/value. That's athletics.com/value.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street. Right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Near the banks of the Sacramento River, Perry Dye of the famous Dye family of golf architects designed Bartley Kavanaugh Golf Course as Sacramento's #1 course for fun. Dye's design and mixture of holes assures players of a fun-filled day with friends. Bartley Kavanaugh's moderately sized greens and generous fairway landing areas make for an affordable and fun round of golf. After golf, relax on the outdoor veranda with a cold beverage or a tasty meal. For tee times, visit BartleyKavanaugh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris's company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
You're so demanding. Turn that up. Turn that down.
Would you rather just have me reach over and do it myself?
No.
Who would ever do that?
That's unbelievable.
That's unbelievable.
I know what you're doing, and I don't like it.
Chris, you should never let us know that you don't like something. Come on.
Yeah, I genuinely
I
have
hate,
a hard time believing you actually did that.
I hate when people treat me like I treat other people.
Do you also hate when people say literally when they don't, like when it's figurative?
No, I don't care about that.
No? Okay.
I literally do it all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Some
people, that's a big
Sometimes I'll specify, though. Like when I say there were literally 600 rats in the street. And I'll go, not
actually.
Not figuratively, literally. Yeah. Like
you'll have to clarify that you're actually saying there was that many.
Language is important. Yeah. Monty McNair just spoke. We just heard that here on Sactown Sports. He talked about Keegan Murray quite a bit and the year that he had, how impactful he was as a rookie. He was the most impactful rookie. All that jazz. But one of the things he brought up that I kind of had a question about is he talked about how good Keegan was defensively.
Yeah. I also
and his versatility defensively.
Yeah.
I feel like he's projecting out. Like they liked his start in that area.
I think they liked the fact that they tried to do it and he was willing to do it, but I as well, my eyebrows got raised when he said that because I disagree. I think maybe it is projecting a little forward, but from what we saw, I mean, Keegan was hunted routinely as all rookies tend to do,
right?
Also,
especially in a playoff series,
especially when you're going to play 30 minutes in a playoff series.
Yeah,
like that's going to be the one that they go to,
right?
But yeah, I mean, I'm not there with Keegan's defense. I don't really know if he was great against any particular position, but absolutely, I would not say that I felt good when Keegan was switched on to smaller guards. I disagreed with that.
No, and I think I when he was at Iowa, and part of the reason I thought the Kings should draft him was the scoring and the shooting. I thought that was going to translate right away. But I thought he was going to be one of those guys like, hey, he might be able to defend 1 through 4. And I think what we're looking at now is maybe like 2 through 4, depending on the shiftiness of that 2.
Yeah.
But I think eventually he's going to grow into a play where if he gets switched on to Steph Curry, you feel okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's definite best case scenario. I don't see that I don't see him projecting that way, but I think that the Kings hope that he does. I definitely agree that that's the direction that they're hoping he goes is to be that kind of, but that's going to be all off-season work. He's got to be more laterally quick. Maybe strength is going to have to play into that as well, like being able to hold his body weight a little bit better. There was a lot of times this year where not even on the defensive end, but offensively, like I've never attributed getting blocked a lot to anybody before. Keegan gets blocked a lot. And it's kind of because he goes up pretty weak and for whatever reason, and like, I'm not just talking like get his shot deflected. I mean, that thing's going to like the third row.
Sure. A lot of what I saw with him this year, though, I didn't take away anything where I'm like, oh, you know what? There's a thing he can't do that I thought he was going to be able to do in the NBA necessarily.
For sure.
A lot of the mistakes I saw him make, particularly in the playoffs, was a lot of, hey, this guy's just not played a lot of NBA hoop.
Right.
Like,
and
he's
again,
still figuring this out. Still figuring out
he got better as
it
it went on too.
You start to see different situations. The game starts to slow down.
Yeah.
I'm still very high on Murray. And I honestly can see why Monty McNair would be like he exceeded expectations.
Absolutely. I mean, for sure. I think, like Monty said, like you can't expect somebody to come out their rookie year, make 200 threes and shoot 40%. And
then start 7 playoff games.
Right. Start 7 playoff games, be incredibly important in 2 or 3 of them. That's not rookie stuff. That's not situations that rookies are A, supposed to even be in.
Right.
B, definitely not supposed to find any sort of success in.
Right.
So I think you can't not look at Keegan's season and think of it as a success. There's so many things. Again, we're not saying he's a perfect prospect. He's a perfect player right now, but he's got things that he can build on, and you can easily, it's not a crazy stretch for him to improve on those things incrementally too. Like,
no doubt.
It's just going to be step by step, little by little. Again, this is still his rookie year. We're seeing Darren Fox in his 6th, entering 7th season next year, finally kind of take a third leap. There's steps to how you get to be impact in the league. And we're just seeing, again, much like, Monty said for the entire team, but this is just step 1. Step 1, success. What does step 2 look like?
I also have to go back to what I said in the last segment. I said, hey, how come no one asked about Vesnikov?
Oh, right.
Well, I'm an idiot because Sean Cunningham is in the room. So, of course, Sean asked him about Vesnikov.
Yeah.
And from what I can see here, Monty replied, they're watching him in the EuroLeague. Those conversations will happen in the offseason. So almost word for word what you said.
Almost verbatim.
Yeah, almost verbatim.
Yeah, Monty's an easy guy to read for sure.
Yeah.
So he danced around the Harrison Barnes question. I genuinely think that's something where if you had truth serum and you were like, hey, what are you going to do with Harrison? I genuinely don't think they know right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I really think it's going to depend on price.
Yep.
Conversations with him and what his role is going to be. If he's like, I need to start, then maybe you're moving off of him. But if he's like, yeah, I'll be a 7th guy. Okay. Now you start to feel a little better. You're not paying him as much. What he said about Domas, though, was, I think, really telling. How Domas is going to be, part of this team moving forward, and they view him as a fundamental part of the team. I just think that's a really important thing to drive home, because there's still talk of people being like, trade Domas.
Right.
And again, it's not a huge contingent, but I still see it, and I think it's nuts. Like, he's very, very good, and I think Monty really drove that home.
Yeah.
Like, he's part of this team. He's going to be part of this team. They're probably going to max him out. And I think that's just what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you can. Domas is the kind of player you can't just get rid of him and be like, oh yeah, we know.
Yeah, we'll just replace that. Yeah,
like it fundamentally changes like the fabric of your team.
Yes, absolutely. I think it was important too, because obviously Sabonis heading into this contract year, you don't want to have any sort of trepidation about how you feel about him. Obviously, the Kings got rid of a very important piece in Tyrese Halliburton to get him.
Yeah,
it would be very bad for them to lose him, especially after the proof of concept that they have this year, showing that, no, this can be a foundation that you can really build upon and have real success. It would just be a colossal failure if the Kings somehow managed to not let Domantas Sabonis be a Sacramento King for the next 6 seasons.
I can't fathom it.
I can't either. I can't. It would be,
unless he completely falls apart next year,
right,
and averages 10 and 7,
right,
which he's not going to.
No,
because he's really damn good at basketball.
Right.
Yeah, he's gonna be
a king.
Yeah.
There's no way. I don't know if they'll work out an extension this offseason, but it'll get done.
Right. They didn't trade for him to be like, let's see if this works.
Let's
see how this goes.
Yeah, we'll play it out.
Yeah.
We'll see where we're at the deadline, right?
We're gonna trade this awesome rookie we have in Tyrese Halliburton.
Yep.
And maybe toss the guy in a couple of years.
Yeah.
That's not what's gonna happen.
That's not gonna be the plan.
Hey, we've talked so much basketball. You and I have done
Yes.
half a dozen shows together, maybe more. We've talked so much hoop.
I think all hoop.
We need to discuss the 49ers and some NFL.
Let's do it.
We're going to do that in the 1 o'clock hour. To kick us off in the 1 o'clock hour, it's going to be Nick Wagner. He covers the 49ers for ESPN. Also a big hoops fan. Well, ask him some basketball questions as well. Get some basketball takes out of him. Can't wait to talk some NFL next with ESPN's Nick Wagner. That's coming up on the other side. Chris and Company, Sactown Sports 1140.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Divorce forces a father to focus on what's most important, his children. You may no longer be a husband, but you'll always be a dad. In the divorce process, this comes down to 3 key concerns: physical custody, decision-making, as well as financial support. Each of these is important, and it's important that you choose a lawyer that cares as much about these issues as you do.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Sacramento area attorneys. 500
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Spring officially here. And with the long, cold, and rainy winter behind us, I'm sure you're counting the days until summer, but don't wait until it's hot to make sure your air conditioner is working efficiently and, most importantly, safely. Get ahead of the problem with a $49 AC tune-up from American Energy Heat and Air. There's nothing worse than your air conditioner going out when it's hot outside. Get a tune-up today and make sure you and your family are comfortable and cool in your home for the hot summer months that are right around the corner. Give them a call, 916-520-9990, or schedule your appointment online at AmericanEnergyAir.com. Better Business Bureau, A+ rating. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. Easy, convenient payment options, same as cash, low monthly payments through financing partners. What do you need? 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
When you hear the words, the whole store is on sale, if you're like me, you're thinking, this is worth my attention. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word or two about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now, Naturewood's whole store is on sale during their exceptional home sale. Now your mind is probably doing backflips trying to decide where to start. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Or maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, or accents and accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide home sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stickley, Artisan Home, Stanton, Flex Steel, Omnia, and all the rest of our award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable home sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
When you're ready to get properly fitted for golf clubs, join the thousands of Northern California golfers who visited the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio. Players of all abilities found the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers answers to questions about golf club fitting. You'll find a professional staff of fitters, major equipment brands, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan. See for yourself at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Call 916-808-2531 to schedule your fitting. 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Rilado with your Sactown Sports headlines. The NBA and Monty McNair has been named Executive of the Year. This is the first time a Sacramento general manager has won Executive of the Year since Jeff Petrie in 2001. This is the third Kings end of the season award after Darren Fox won the Clutch Player of the Year and Mike Brown won Coach of the Year. There's only one NBA game tonight. That is the Philadelphia 76ers at the Boston Celtics. Yesterday, it was announced that Joel Embiid was named the NBA MVP, and today he made an announcement of his own. According to the Athletics' Sean Charania, Embiid told his teammates that he is back and he will be playing in Game 2. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and company with Kyle Madson and our guest, Nick Wagner.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Yeah, it turns out the NFL offseason has just been rolling on.
Really?
Despite the Kings run in the playoffs,
Did
the
they
NFL
not know?
did not hit pause.
Very inconsiderate.
Hate that.
Very inconsiderate. Especially with the NorCal battle happening. Like, how is anyone supposed to?
The 49ers have just been plugging along. So to catch us up a little bit on what's been happening down in Santa Clara. 49ers reporter for ESPN, Nick Wagner. Nick, thank you so much for hanging out with us at 1 o'clock on a Wednesday. We appreciate you so very much. What were your thoughts on the Warriors-Lakers game last night?
Well, first, Kyle, I'm glad that I can even out the non-Chris numbers for you in that room there. I was just overwhelmed by Chris's when he got on, so now we can even up for the next 2 minutes. But, yeah, about what I expected in the Warriors-Lakers game, but I don't think anybody really wants to hear my opinions. And look, this would be the second time you hear them, so I think you're probably worn out of them also.
Okay, we'll put a pin in that. We'll circle back. The 49ers in the NFL draft didn't pick until number 87. They traded up for that spot. It seemed to me like they approached this draft like a team that didn't feel like it needed really a starter at any position. And then Kyle Shanahan even said that they felt kicker was the only spot they needed a starter. I disagree with that. Where did you land it?
Yeah, it's funny you say they didn't pick till number 87, but the good news is it only felt like number 587. that was a good place to start. But yeah, I mean, look, I understand the line of thinking that led them to a kicker with one of those 3 picks in the 3rd round. First of all, because they had them, they had those 3 choices. It is the end of the 3rd round, which ostensibly is the 4th round. If you want to look at it that way, if that makes it a little bit more acceptable to people. The question I have is did they get one of those like generational kickers that's just too good to pass on? And I'm not sure that they did that. And I dove into some of the numbers. I wrote about a piece about it today where it was, if you look at his numbers from 40 and beyond, I think he was, 17 of 27 from 40 to 49 yards and 4 of 10 from 50 to 50 or 50 plus. Other than that. And so he's got a strong leg. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And he delivered in some key moments for them. But is this a guy who's worth like, hey, we're going to take this pick? But I also will say this, and I asked Kyle Shanahan about this the other night because I know how he operates. Kyle Shanahan does not want to spend more than 5 seconds thinking about 3 positions: kicker, punter, and long snapper. And I don't mean 5 seconds each. I mean 5 seconds combined. So I asked him, I said, Kyle, like knowing that you don't really want to spend time thinking about this, like how much does that kind of play into your decision to do this? And he basically said yes. And, I don't know if Dr. Dre actually said the line originally. It was in that documentary that came out a few years ago with Jimmy Iovine. And he said something like, you can't put a price on peace of mind. And I think the 49ers felt that way for a while. And then this year they realized, okay, there's a price that we're putting on it where Robbie Gould's price is just too high for us. And so they were always going to spend something significant on kicker. In the past, it's been money, and now it's a draft pick. And the question is, because that's a calculated risk. With money, they knew what they were getting. In this case, they don't. If it works out, no one's going to say anything, at the end of this year if he's kicking game winners in the playoffs. But if he struggles and he's going to have to do it right away, there's going to be a lot of eyes that turn on that pick.
Yeah. Defiant Ones is a great documentary, by the way. That's a great shout. Was there any UDFAs, undrafted free agents that caught your attention that the Niners signed?
I have to go with this one, Jack Coletto, which I reported right after that he was one of the first 2 that they had agreed to terms with, just because he's so fascinating. Like I knew a little bit about him, and then when I found out that he was coming, I looked into his past, and it's like, oh yeah, he started out as a quarterback, and then he played fullback and linebacker and long snapper. I mean, he did like everything at Oregon State, not like in his past, not just like high school. I'm talking about in college, he was doing all those things. So I think there's a really interesting fit there. I know for a fact that he had a lot of significant interest from a lot of teams, like when, during that rush on those undrafted free agents afterwards. And so I don't know that he's necessarily going to be somebody that comes in and contributes anytime soon, but as a long-term potential kind of use check replacement, might be worth something to keep an eye on there.
Talking with Nick Wagner, 49ers reporter for ESPN. The 49ers this morning, it was reported that they signed quarterback Brandon Allen. That's now the 4th quarterback on their roster. Does this make it any more or less likely that they trade Trey Lance this offseason?
No.
Perfect.
Do you want more? No, it does. I mean, look, here's the situation they're in right now is they needed another arm to get through the offseason. Trey Lance, yes, he's been cleared to do everything, but he is still coming off of an injury. So maybe they kind of ease him in a little bit when they get into the actual full team OTAs. Sam Darnold still learning the playbook. So I think it's just a matter of getting another arm in there. And look, I don't think that if there was going to be a market for Trey Lance, I think it would have happened before the draft.
Yeah.
You know, when you get past the draft, you're at this point, if you're a team still looking for a starting quarterback, you got much bigger issues.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think that there's going to be a market for him now. Could all of that change in training camp if there's an injury in the preseason or whatever? We're basically having the same conversation that we had about Jimmy Garoppolo last year, right? We're doing that right now with Trey Lance.
Yep.
And so sure, all that could change, and then the money changes after June 1st. It would be a little cheaper in terms of the way they could spread out the dead cap on Trey Lance. So there are other factors that play into this, but I don't think that, Brandon Allen is moving the needle much in terms of that. And what's funny, guys, is unless they can get some sort of an exemption, which I'm not even sure if they're allowed to do, they have rookie minicamp not this weekend, but the following weekend, and they don't have any quarterbacks that are eligible to do it unless our guy Jack Coletto steps up.
Oh, that's great.
What do you think would be what the Niners look for in return for Lance at this point?
I mean, everything I was told was that it was going to take something significant. John Lynch said that on the record when I asked him about it. And my understanding is significant. If you were just looking at the draft, it was going to be, a very early 2 or a 1, which, again, guys, the way I look at this is Trey Lance, again, I hate to keep going to the Jimmy Garoppolo comparison, but he's in a situation that's very similar in that he is more valuable to the 49ers as we sit here right now than he is to any other team in the league, because the 49ers at least have some semblance of an idea of what they have in him. And the fact that he hasn't been healthy, all that did is made other teams say, well, maybe we could get him for nothing. And the 49ers aren't going to give him away for nothing because they gave up so much to get him and because of their own quarterback situation. So if let's say Brock Purdy had never gotten hurt against Philly, whether they win or lose that game, he plays decent in that game, doesn't get hurt, I think there would have been a much bigger conversation to have about how realistic it was they're going to trade Trey Lance. But they also still were going to have to eat money for no reason, and they have proved more than any team in the league that they need not just one quarterback, not just 2 quarterbacks. I feel like LeBron and Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wagner, they need a lot of quarterbacks to get through a season.
Talking with Nick Wagner, he covers the 49ers for ESPN. So San Francisco, they're coming off a second consecutive NFC championship game run. They've been 3 of the last 4. Are we at a point now where I've always been very anti like Kyle Shanahan on the hot seat guy. Like I think he does a phenomenal job, but at some point, like they've got to get over that hump. Is this the year where you think if they don't get over that hump, we'll start to hear some kind of rumblings along those lines?
It's an interesting question, Kyle. And actually, it reminds me that I didn't fully answer your question earlier when I went off on the Jake Moody tangent about their drafting. But I think this all ties together, right? It ties into the Trey Lance discussion. It ties into a Brandon Ayuk discussion, because I know there were a lot of people that were positing that the Niners were going to trade Brandon Ayuk to get a pick and reset the contract clock at wide receiver. No. The 49ers are no longer in, we're trying to extend the window. They're in, we're towards the end of this window, and we need to jump through that thing before it closes on us. Yeah. And I think that is the most important thing to know about the way the 49ers are operating right now, where it is a situation. Let's use last year, Mike McGlinchey. They acknowledged that they openly were willing to trade Mike McGlinchey before last season, his final season on his contract. And they probably could have done it. They probably had some offers that were decent, but they didn't do it because they're trying to win a Super Bowl right now. So they're not in the same situation where they were with DeForest Buckner, and they made that move in 2019 thinking like, hey, we can get Javon Kinlaw in here, and, maybe that'll help us, for 4 or 5 more years of contending at this level. I think right now, guys, if you just ask me, I think they got 2 years. And I think 2 years with this core. Now, that could change, obviously, if guys develop or whatever, but, Trent Williams close to retirement, Deebo Samuel, his contract will be almost up in a couple of years, and the number goes way up. Some of these other guys, George Kittle, his number goes way up. Fred Warner's numbers go way up. All those things that are going to play into it. And the other thing, guys, is in 2 years, if Brock Purdy is this team's starting quarterback, which is probably a good sign because it means he stayed healthy and played well, and maybe they did jump through that window. But in 2 years, that's when he can first negotiate a contract extension. And if he does well enough to earn that, that means that they're going to have to pay up, and that will alter the way that they can build their roster. So that's kind of how I think they're looking at it right now is there are some things that they can make work. Maybe they're keeping a couple of guys, even Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. Everyone says they're going to have to come to a decision next offseason. I think maybe they could squeeze one more year out of that. It's mostly true, but I think maybe they could squeeze one more year out of that if they sign Ayuk to an extension that lowers his number. But I think that you're looking at a 2-year window with this core as it's currently constructed.
Last one for me, Nick. You mentioned in 2 weeks these guys are going to be hitting the field. Is there any final tweaks you want to see to the roster before they hit the field?
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to have seen them do more on the offensive line. And their argument would be, last year everyone said the same thing and the line turned out pretty good. My response to that would be, yes, the line turned out pretty good, but it wasn't good enough.
Right.
And it could have been better. And so I think if you're looking at this roster and you're saying, where are the weaknesses? It's nice to say that Colton McKivitz can step in at right tackle and he can beat Jake Brendel. And maybe he does, and good for him if he has a good solid season like Jake Brendel does. But I also want to see Jake Brendel do it again. I want to see Aaron Banks do it again. I want to see better play at right guard. Spencer Burford was okay last year as a rookie at right guard. He wasn't great, which is why he was rotating. So to me, there are still a lot of questions on that offensive line outside of Trent Williams, and that's a big thing when you've got this situation that they do at quarterback.
Nick Wagner covers the 49ers for ESPN. Nick, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Hey, let's talk some hoop next time.
You got it, guys. I'll change your name to Chris.
Perfect. Thanks, Nick. All right. Nick Wagner, lots of interesting stuff to dive into there. But I want to talk about that 49ers window because I very much think
super interesting.
We're reaching that Super Bowl or bust. And I'm not sure they're approaching their team building the right way. I'll tell you why on the other side. That's Chris Watkins. I'm Kyle Madson. This is Chris and Company on Sactown Sports 1140.
Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Hand off McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feels super, baby! The 5-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
on your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Hey guys, this is Keenan Thompson. I have a problem with you. Yes, you. None of y'all told me that AutoTrader has millions of new and used cars that I can shop from home. I thought we were friends. I put smiles on your face, but I'm not smiling. No one told me that with AutoTrader, a dealer can deliver cars to my home or that I could shop by price on AutoTrader. No one. Consider this friendship that you just learned we had officially over. Finally, it's easy. AutoTrader.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company Zone 1 report.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
You know what's underrated?
No.
As a party food? The baked potato bar.
Yeah.
Very underrated party move.
I think it's properly rated.
I think it's underrated. I don't think it happens enough.
Chris, by saying properly rated, you mean like nobody talks about it and that's deserved?
Yeah,
You're out on a baked potato?
Why would I want a baked potato bar? It's kind of gross to begin with.
Whoa.
What?
You've just got hot food out there and you've got like your fixings at room temperature just hanging out, people sneezing all over it and
people sneezing
all over
what
it.
are your What do your friends do at parties? Sneeze all over the food?
Baked potato bar?
Yeah, man.
Like where is this at? What kind of party is this?
A watch party last night for the basketball game.
A watch party?
Yeah.
At somebody's house?
Yeah, my folks' house. It's great. I had a great time.
Chris is out.
I crushed a couple potatoes.
You were describing this to me. I've never heard of a potato bar before you were describing it to me.
We had them in my elementary school, and it was like, oh,
okay, that's traumatizing.
The people decided that they gave up for today.
Oh,
No.
that's no,
what
I
you were
totally
describing to me
disagree,
earlier,
dude.
Kyle, sounded enjoyable. I would have, it's a nice switch up. It's not something like I said, I've never had a potato bar before.
If
Sounds
it's
great.
inside a house, I don't believe it is a potato bar.
Wait, why?
You're just making baked potatoes and you've got a bunch of stuff to put on.
Yeah. It's just like it's all the stuff
more,
is out.
I think more just like as a party item, right? Like instead
Like I'm thinking when I hear potato bar, I'm thinking when you go to a wedding and they have like a donut wall or something like that.
Which is insane, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't need to do my donuts on a wall.
No.
There are so many things when you're planning a wedding that people are like, do you want to do this? Absolutely not. I want no parts of that.
See, and Chris, I don't know about you, but in our family, we've got a Mexican family. It's not really that. It's okay, whose house are we going to have this at? And who's going to be responsible for the different things?
Oh, yeah. We always just cater Vallejos. Shout out Vallejos Fire. And we always just rent a hall.
And I will tell you this, that Chris just said to me, every single Mexican in Sacramento has some sort of connection to Vallejos.
Shout out Vallejos. That's my cousin's husband's family business. Vallejos Fire.
Shout out.
And,
okay, we need to talk after this.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you.
Yeah, we definitely
We just
do.
rent a hall every time.
That's
it's
it.
It's always just at some random hall, and you just lay out the round tables, and
nothing makes me happier than when I go to like somebody's house for like a party or some kind of like hangout, a little shindig or whatever. Nothing makes me happier than when they say we're getting Mexican food catered.
Yeah.
And
Just
it's
a tray of
yeah.
beans,
and that's
tray of rice.
I don't want to disparage Chipotle. That's not Mexican food to me.
No, it's not.
That's Chipotle. That's a separate thing. And if you're gonna get fine, I'm not against that.
Yeah.
And while we're talking about this, I will say
Please,
that Vallejos is the best because you go to Mexican restaurants, it's either really good beans and they'll have bland rice.
Yeah.
Or like the rice is
super
amazing
bland rice.
and the beans are just terrible. They have like the perfect ratio of good and good.
Wow. I'm going to have to clip that right there and send it to Chris. You might have just earned yourself a nice little sponsorship deal.
That'd be, dude, we need to go.
He's not wrong. Like, it's so good. It's very, very good. And that's always our go-to. So I would love to experience. I say
chips
that to
and salsa,
say
chips and guac is my favorite like snack.
Yeah.
And so when you're like, yeah, we're going to pull up, we're going to have a bunch of tacos. We're going to have a bunch of taquitos.
That's what if
rice beans.
I would just have a nice little taco truck come to the wedding and,
that's a vibe.
Call it a day.
I'm so in on that.
Yeah.
I'm so in on that.
Yeah.
That's my topic. When someone's like, yeah, we're gonna have baked potatoes and we're gonna have all the stuff out. I'm like, yes, give me that.
It sounds good. I'd be willing to try it for sure.
All
I'm not out on it because everyone does the pizza.
Next time we do it, I will invite you down to the
wings.
crib and
Let's
you can
do
come
it,
hang out
dude.
and we'll have baked potatoes.
All right, Warriors Lakers game 2.
That's tomorrow.
That is tomorrow. Okay,
See you
maybe
there.
game 3, maybe game 3 or game 4.
Okay, so I think the 49ers are doing a team building wrong. And
yeah, I mean, third round kickers.
Yeah,
that's the start of it.
Something we just talked about with Nick Wagner was Kyle Shanahan saying they felt they only needed a starter at one position, and that was kicker, and that was the justification for taking a kicker 99th.
Yeah.
Real quick, when you're doing a draft and you feel the need to justify the pick to the public, and you're talking in public about how everybody dogged you for the pick.
Right.
And when you're calling the selection on the best day of their life, maybe second best if they're married or have kids or whatever, but one of the best days of their lives, and you're going, hey, this is what Kyle Shanahan said to the kicker. He's Jake Moody from Michigan. He's like, hey, it's kind of crazy that we're like drafting a kicker here, but you got to know we like you because, hey, we could have drafted a running back.
That does not sound like Kyle Shanahan was consulted on this pick.
Bro, what? And so the fact that he said
that's nuts.
The fact that he said they felt they only needed a starter at one position. That's kind of how their draft looks.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of uninspired.
Right.
Like, okay, fine. Maybe they turn into players. I don't know. There are so many good players on their roster that I didn't think were going to be good in the NFL, and they've figured it out. So maybe they figured out advanced scouting in the later rounds, and they're going to find a couple of starters here. But I don't think that's a good philosophy. If you're going into a draft with George Kittle turns 30 this year. Trent Williams is 35 or 36. Trent Williams
he's
getting
up there. He already is up there.
Deebo Samuel may or may not be on the team in a year
yes.
from now.
Right.
You're going to have to pay Nick Bosa.
Mm-hmm.
Tayshaun Gibson, your free safety, is 33.
Mm-hmm.
I think he turns 33 this year in August. But he's getting up there. So they draft Jair Brown. They trade up Penn State safety.
First pick.
Okay,
Yep.
that's that. He'll be the long-term starter there. You get that.
Yeah.
But like Dre Greenlaw has 2 years left on his contract, and he's probably going to price himself out of your market.
Right.
I understand not needing a starter
Mm-hmm.
necessarily. And by the way, they could have used a starter caliber player at right tackle, but that's fine.
Yeah. Completely ignored that. Didn't
Why
draft
are
a
you
single lineman.
You should be selecting guys that you think can start
Mm-hmm.
all the time or have a shot or have that ceiling. If they're approaching the draft like we need a backup tight end, so what we're going to do is draft backup caliber tight ends.
Right.
We need some cornerback depth, so we're going to take a flyer on this corner in the 5th round. I don't think that's a good team building strategy. And they're in a spot now where over the next 2-3 years, as some of these guys start aging out, pricing themselves out, I think we might look back at this year's draft and say it would be really nice if they had a couple of starters that they could plug in from that draft.
Right. Is this also just, I mean, it is a product. This is what happens when you play the game that the Los Angeles Rams just played too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you trade your draft capital, which is, the Niners didn't have a first round pick because that was the part of the Trey Lance deal, correct? And the second round pick was because of the Christian McCaffrey deal. It's kind of the price of getting a ready win now. When you stack your roster like how the Niners have, it's kind of the price of business, which isn't, it's the excuse. It's not a good reason to do it, but I don't know. I mean, how much can you really expect when you don't have a first two, the first two picks in the draft?
No doubt.
Like you're not going to get obviously a top, your first prospect is being picked at 87, that there's 86 other people picked in front of him who clearly were more talented or had better prospect or whatever it is. I understand why you feel that way. And I definitely agree that they didn't attack the draft the way that I would have if I was in this position. But at the same time, is this just kind of the necessary evil of doing business the way that the Niners have done business?
Yeah.
Like
maybe a little, maybe a little bit. I hadn't thought about it like that.
Doesn't matter, if they don't get a ring, if they don't end up winning the Super Bowl, then definitely you can look back on this and be like, man, that again, like we probably could have used those first first and second round picks. But if you win the title, isn't it all worth it?
But even, no, absolutely.
And,
if you win one Super Bowl, it doesn't matter how you build, whatever the Rams did, the Rams did, and
whatever they do for the next 3 years,
they've won the title.
Right.
That's A+.
Yep.
The Niners draft this year, just typically there's like things you can look at that project out and you're like, oh, that's going to be that's a good pick. You can see why that guy.
Right.
There's
or high upside even. Yeah.
There's just none. And again, you have to see them play. Maybe there's 5 starters in this draft class. I'm wrong all the time about guys in the draft, but coming out of it, it's just so uninspiring, and it felt uninspired. And it felt like the way they talked about it after the draft, they didn't sound particularly excited about any of these guys.
Right.
And
if you draft a kicker
just
in the
not
third round, you should, I don't care what you believe, you should be saying this is going to be the next Justin
He needs to
Tucker.
be a top 3 kicker in the league.
And even then, right away is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, right away
Yes.
he has to be a top.
Yes.
I mean,
like,
and
you don't even think 50 yards and in, this guy's cash money.
Yeah.
Like that's how good he needs to be. I want to circle back to the top and talk about the Warriors-Lakers game from last night.
Sure.
There's a couple of Kings angles in there that I want to get to. Story time with Chris coming up. That's coming up at 1:50 once Rami's in here. Been a really fun show.
Yeah.
Also, we're nearly at 100 likes on YouTube.
Oh man.
If you're watching and have not hit like yet,
if we can crack 100,
get us to 100. If you're watching, it's a little thumbs up right below the video. We'd love to get to 100 by the end of this show. Let's do that. Chat's been awesome today. Appreciate you guys.
It has.
On the other side, did Jordan Poole take a good shot at the end of the last game or not? Chris and Company, Sactown Sports 1140.
It's Cattles and Rami.
That's right. He's got his shirt on, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Sacramento Kings shirt. Let's go. Oh, Boston boy. Let's go. Boston Nick got out the Kings shirt. Look at that. Let's go. You went out and spent money on that too, didn't you?
No. Oh.
Well, let's go.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
Truck season savings extended at Midday Chevy at the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Got a huge selection of new 2022 and 23 half-ton Silverados in stock, ready to go. Find your savings at MaidaChevy.com. Find new roads.
Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an IMAX 2D and 3D experience.
It's time to save the universe. Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by.
See Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the largest screen in Sacramento. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for tickets and reserved seating. Select showtimes in 3D. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club to receive special member pricing on tickets and more at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back this weekend at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Fred Aldridge,
what you doing, baby? Don't you?
and so many more. Plus a Blue Scoop 9-dance saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 340 and Stonies of Rockin' Rodeo.
Imagine it's the last ride, but your symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, are taking you for a ride. What should you do? Keep managing your constipation with belly pain the same old way? Or try getting ahead of your symptoms by talking to your doctor about treating it with Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Listen to Oakland A's baseball on the weekends all season long right here on Sactown Sports, beginning with the pregame show brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sactown Sports.
Headline.
headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. The NBA announced today that Kings general manager Monty McNair has been named Executive of the Year. This is the first time a Sacramento general manager has won Executive of the Year since Jeff Petrie in 2001. This is the third Kings end of the season award after Darren Fox won the Clutch Player of the Year and Mike Brown won the Coach of the Year. There's only one NBA game today. That is the Philadelphia 76ers at the Boston Celtics. Yesterday, it was announced that Joel Embiid was named the NBA MVP, and today he made an announcement of his own. According to the Athletics, Shams Charania, Embiid told his teammates that he is back and he will be playing in Game 2. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and Company with Kyle Madson.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
I'm not one to judge because my hairline left me around like 21.
Yeah.
About 21, 22 is when like the jokes started coming in about my hairline. But it was still like I had enough hair to have hair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I saw you without a hat.
That's just mostly been the case.
On.
My hat wearing is not because of my hair. I think my hair is because of my hat wearing. Like I've worn it. I just found pictures of me at a soccer camp when I was like 11. Hat. It was like this like week long like soccer camp.
Yeah.
And so like there's pictures of me like out in like the woods doing whatever we were doing at this camp that was non-soccer. Hat. Like that's just been my thing since I was a kid. You find picture of me as a baby, hat. Like it's just how it's been, right? So I can't judge anyone. I eventually when my wife and I first started dating, I had a very like close shaved, like, but my hair's so thin you couldn't see it.
Right.
And she's like, bro, you gotta let
Just gotta let it go.
You gotta let
at
it
some
go.
point. Everybody gets to that point.
Like, all right, fine.
LeBron's been at that point for years.
And it's fine. I like shaving my head. It's fine, whatever. Trey Lance gotta let it go.
Bro.
My man's gotta come home.
Bro. I think you might have retweeted the picture that I saw.
Yes.
Man's looking like if Trae Young and LeBron, like if their hair had
it's
a
so
child.
weird. He's got this like full head of like curly hair kind of, but it's kind of like shrink. But then there's just like this one piece.
Yeah,
right here
in the front. Yeah, that's just very
gone.
thin.
It's just gone.
Could be helmets, right? Helmets probably didn't help.
Maybe, but whatever it is, he's got to let it go.
Yeah, I agree. I think
I'm not trying to judge anybody. But.
No, I mean, it's just a fact of life. Everybody's not everybody, but most people got to do it at some point. The key is. And you pointed at like it's knowing when the right time is. You don't want to be that guy that's holding on to it for way too long, and the jokes keep coming. And it's like LeBron, like just keeps coming and coming, and then at some point it's just like, dude, this is sad. Like you're clearly like this is projecting on some sort of insecurity here. Like you just gotta let it go.
You're cutting deep.
Sorry.
For a while when it really started to go, when it started to go, I tried to grow it long up top.
Yeah.
And it just
it's just like, everybody's got to come to that conclusion at some point. You just got to embrace it. And not many people, I in my opinion, I know others would definitely disagree. I think a lot of people look really fine bald. Like I think people think
I'm still ugly, but it's not because of my hair.
Like
or lack of hair.
No
doubt.
Some people look like a giant baby. Some people also have like weird shaped heads that you don't realize until it's all gone. But I think for the most part, people look fine. Yeah. And I think they're very insecure about it. I don't know. I have hair. I can grow locks and whatever. I can grow some really long hair. I've always liked it short. Sure. I've always been the kind of when it's ready to go,
must be nice.
I will not hold on to it a day longer than it needs to because it's great. Waking up in the morning, you ain't got nothing to do.
It's great. I throw a little lotion.
I throw a hat. I have hair, and I throw a hat on because it takes way too long.
Little lotion, hat, good to go.
You're solid. Sunburns probably a problem though.
Been talking 49ers. Kyle Shanahan said that they felt they only needed one starter out of this draft class.
That feels like a quote that's going to come back and bite him.
But I get what he's saying. for that is a vote of confidence for Colton McKivitz, who's going to start at right guard, right tackle for them. It's a vote of confidence for the offensive line in general.
Sure.
That's great.
Right.
Not that there's any. I wonder about like the third linebacker spot, but that's such a like separate thing. And they probably feel good about the couple of guys they have in the building. They drafted a linebacker, but I don't subscribe to the philosophy of not just not aiming to find guys to push starters at every single position.
Best player available.
And maybe that's not what he meant. Maybe they did try and do that. And maybe this is going to be an outlier class in terms of their athletic testing and their college production, and they're going to find a bunch of starting caliber players. I think the front office has earned the benefit of the doubt. In that regard.
Right.
But man,
do you think that the draft this year?
I don't know that they got better.
Exactly. Do you think it made this year's team any better?
No. I genuinely don't. Maybe Jair Brown, the safety they drafted in the third round, maybe he winds up starting over Tayshaun Gibson. And he's really good. He started for 2 seasons at Penn State. He's junior college, went to Penn State in the pandemic year, didn't start any games. He played 9. And then he started the last 2 years. In those last 2 years, he was part of 16 turnovers.
Wow.
10 interceptions, 3 forced fumbles.
That's something you can work with.
That could be a game-changing type of player. But apparently they don't have any
no other needs.
They're not going to start him.
Like you said, also no tackles, no nothing.
Yeah, it just I don't think they got better. At least not for this year. Maybe their tight end room is better. They drafted 2 tight ends. Maybe their backup tight ends get a little better. Maybe their depth at corners a little better. But like none of these things, they did sign Javon Hargrave.
Sure. Yeah. That's a big splash. That's a very big splash.
Both figuratively and literally.
Yeah.
But outside of that, when you look at this team, like offensively, okay, you feel good about it. What are they doing at right tackle?
Right.
You trust them to figure it out. But I don't know. They went into last season against Philly in the NFC title game as the underdog. And then you go look at what Philly did in the draft and what they've done this offseason.
Gosh.
And it's like, and again, it needs to be stated. You don't know with draft picks.
Right.
Maybe Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith, the 2 guys that they took out of Georgia, don't translate to the NFL.
For whatever.
Great college players didn't translate. But when you're projecting out, it's easy to project out, wow, Philly improved. With the Niners, it's, okay, they're still pretty good. But and I don't think that's a sustainable way to like start extending Super Bowl window.
This run, right.
Because their Super Bowl window for 2025, 2026 began with this draft. And it's tough with no first. It's tough with no second.
Yeah.
It's tough with no early third.
Right.
But
they get a first next year, right?
Yeah. They're full complement of picks next year.
Okay.
And I drafting to fill depth.
Sure.
With guys that aren't necessarily going to compete
for starters
for starting jobs. It's a weird space to be because they made 3 out of the last 4 NFC title games. They went to a Super Bowl.
Right.
They were perhaps a Brock Purdy injury away from making the Super Bowl last year.
Yep.
I don't know. The Niners are in a strange place. And Kyle Shanahan's gotten a lot of the benefit of the doubt to this point, and I think he's earned it.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. What he's done with that, I mean, regardless, I know people have issues with Shanahan,
his aggressiveness
as a play caller, but man, you just can't argue with the results. I mean, again, 3 of the last 4 years they've been in the NFC title game. That's all that you can really ask for is to have a shot at having a shot.
Yep.
Been to the Super Bowl. We're really close. We're arguably a Jimmy Garoppolo away from winning that Super Bowl. The clock, I hear what I don't think if,
at some point it's got to bear fruit in terms of
you have to get
in the form of a title.
Yes. You have to get the overall result at some point. You can't just continue to, but that's also that's crazy to say, is that you can't just continue to settle for NFC title games or like being close to the final dance. Like it is almost suffering from success,
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but let's pick this up on the other side. I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
We'll loop in Rami. He'll be coming in as well. And story time. We have no idea what the stories are going to be.
No
Positive,
idea.
negative, weird, insane, all the above. Can't wait to hear from Verlad with story time.
Hold on.
Holding.
We've got some big news, guys.
Oh
boy.
Have you checked the likes lately?
Oh,
I checked it before the last break. Where are we at, Chris?
We are at 100 likes, baby!
In that century
Come on! That's big time! That's big time! Shout out to everybody that watched on YouTube, that is watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
Smash the like button.
Come on. Let's get more likes than the Kings had points in Game 7, y'all. Come on. Sorry, should I not have said that?
Why you
Are our
got-
likes going to go down?
Vibes were
Sorry,
great.
Sorry. That's my bad. Dang, that's my
I'll
bad.
be back. Chris
That's my bad.
TBT. Rami joining us next.
It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The coach of the year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The clutch player of the year.
Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years.
16 seasons of frustration. Sacramento has clinched the playoffs.
Keep it on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for all your Kings off-season news.
How did your roof fare in the recent storms? If there's signs of wear and tear, address it before the problem becomes bigger. Cobex Construction Group understands the importance of a strong protective roof. The smallest leak can be the biggest problem. We provide homeowners with reliable roof repairs and replacements. Quality work and customer satisfaction are paramount to us. Get a new roof for zero down and low monthly payments. Call 1-800-NEW-ROOF for a no-obligation quote or visit trustcobex.com. Cobex Construction in Roseville. Do it once. Do it right.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
A car buying that's electrifying, yes. A great ride and go. You'll be smiling. Elk Grove. Get your motor in. Open road in. Whip down. Turn it into a highway. The Elk Grove Kia peace of mind guarantee. Here's a 20-year or 200K warranty. No hassle, no worry. You bet you'll ask anybody who can turn your highway into a smileway.
Spring is here, and Elk Grove Kia has some incredible offers, like the all-new, all-electric EV6 for just $549 plus tax. What about the sporty Nero EV all-electric, just $397 plus tax? Worried about credit? Don't! Elk Grove Kia's team has over 100 years of combined finance experience. Bad credit? No problem. Elk Grove Kia says yes when others say no. Both payments are examples of 36-month leases, $3,999 customer cash with signing plus DMV registration and taxes, 10 day per year, 20 cents per mile, over subject to Kia finance approval, 720 plus FICO score to qualify. Offer expires 4/30/2023. One with lease payment, CV6 GK 8609, Euro EV GK 8598.
Elk Grove Kia.
Saturday, June 10th, Gold Country Casino Resort in Oroville is proud to present Girl Named Tom, winners of NBC's The Voice.
If you don't love me now, you will never love me again.
Girl Named Tom, June 10th at 8 p.m.
Until then, I'll sing my homesick melody.
Get your tickets now at goldcountrycasino.com.
Gold Country Casino Resort.
Must be 21 or older.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
All right, we're back. Rami of Cattles and Rami fame is in the building.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Rami and Cattles.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's our unofficial name for the show.
And
Rami
I'm
Cattles.
not pushing back on
Yeah.
that.
No, that's
I'm not
fine.
saying I endorse it necessarily. I'm just saying, like, you guys, it's a free country, free speech.
You're not
Do what
going to
you
say
want.
no.
It's
Yeah,
your
for sure.
First Amendment right
Yes.
to call it Rami
Absolutely
and
right.
Cattles,
Thank
right?
you.
I'm not going to fight you on that.
No, that's fair. That's really fair.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
We've talked a lot of hoop today.
Yes.
Talk, Warriors, Lakers, talk Kings, Monty McNair talk. We also pivoted to football a little bit.
Okay.
You remember football?
Remember that sport?
That's the one with like the oblong ball, right? It's like pointy on both ends, right? They have like the big yellow things on either end. They can't get through there. Yeah, okay.
Or is that rugby?
Sometimes they throw
they're
it.
all the
Sometimes
same,
they run
honestly.
with it.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I feel like I've been a big defender of Kyle Shanahan,
Okay.
but I feel like we're running into a point where it's get over that NFC title game hump, or they've got to do something different.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't see. I'm not like, I'm never a Super Bowl or bust guy.
Okay.
It's
hard.
It's just
really,
that's just
it's
a crazy
random.
way to think and operate. You know what
No
I
doubt.
mean? Because like you can put a Super Bowl team on paper and things might go great for 18, 19 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just face the wrong team and they're on a heater or
Right.
you have an off week and
Right.
and your season is over. Like that doesn't make you a bad coach in my eyes or
Sure.
Right.
or take away from, being one of the most successful coaches when you look at wins and losses and deep playoff runs. No, I'm riding Kyle Shanahan as
so,
long as
too.
he wants to
Till
coach
the wheels fall off.
or until things get
Okay.
really bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you want Jim
I mean-
Tom Sula back?
No, and that's it. So that's the thing is
Getting
the,
to NFC championships. I mean, that's not
the question then becomes who do you replace him with?
right.
And
yeah,
that I don't have a great answer
Yeah.
for.
Right.
But there's just enough things that they've done team building wise over the last couple of years that it feels like if in 2025 they're still kind of floating in this same spot where you have to look at the head coach who has full roster control
Right.
and go, hey man, like whatever's happening here isn't working.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he also, I think he has to share some of the blame at least in the handling of the quarterback
Yes,
situation.
Sure.
And some of that
That's
has
his
been
calling card.
some of that is bad luck. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Some of it is choices. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like Tom Brady was out there at one point. Like Kirk Cousins was out there at one
Yeah.
point. There were guys, there were opportunities to go and get it. Man, Aaron Rodgers was on the trading block this offseason. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And they were like, nah, we're good with Brock Purdy and Trey Lance
Right.
and Sam Darnold. And like, okay, if that's your choice, okay. But if the only reason you keep coming up short is because of your decisions at quarterback,
Right.
that might be something I'd
Yes.
point
Right.
to if I'm a 49ers fan and go, hey man, that's the most important position
Right.
in the league, in sports, really, when you think about it.
Right.
And we can't get that right. And we're taking shots. When we have a Super Bowl roster, we're taking shots on a Brock Purdy and
Yeah.
a Trey Lance and a Sam Darnold. That's a little reckless
Yeah.
in my eyes. And some of that is on Kyle Shanahan.
Sam Darnold's beard looks great though.
Really?
Really?
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't seen
very
it.
strong.
Can't
Powerful
picture
red.
Sam.
Huh.
Powerful red beard.
Huh.
I
Really?
can't wait to continue this
I'll have to check
conversation. We're going to talk a ton of Niner football here over the
thick?
next few.
Thick
Oh yeah.
red beard?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Huh.
very
Wow.
much like Tormund
Can't even
from
picture. Yeah. From Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones esque. Let's
I'll have
get
to look that
to
up.
story time with Christopher Laud.
We're short on time, so no open. Let's just get right
Okay,
into
yeah,
it.
let's
There we
get
go.
right
I
into
thought you were
it.
just going to say, so
No
no.
I
story
said
time.
no.
I actually don't have the
story
time to get
time.
into it.
You're
Cover
not
3
going to do
minutes.
it.
All right, let's go to Louisville, Kentucky. This is courtesy of WDRB. You know what the problem with kids these days are?
A lot.
They just don't understand the value of a hard day's work, right?
Yeah.
I've often said.
Kim Kardashian said that.
But you
I
can't
know where
say
this is going.
you cannot say that about these 305 go-getters.
Oh no.
Bauer Food LLC, Archways Richwood LLC, and Bell Restaurant Group I LLC, which are 3 separate franchises that operate 62 McDonald's locations in Kentucky, Indiana, Maryland, and Ohio, have violated federal labor laws.
Oh, geez.
In the investigation of Just Bauer Food LLC, which operates 10 McDonald's in Louisville, it was found that they employed 24 minors under the age of 16, and they worked more than legally permitted, including 2 10-year-old children who were working as late as 2 a.m.
What is
unpaid.
happening, man?
Bro,
what? Is it like,
I have so many questions.
Am I making a political statement to say, let's not go back to child labor?
Let
like,
the kids play.
Is there a side of the aisle that's fighting for child labor? Is that a thing?
Yes.
That's happening?
There are laws literally being written.
Am I alienating half the audience right now by saying 10-year-olds shouldn't be working at McDonald's till 2 a.m.? Am I going to get a call into the boss's office for this?
Yeah, maybe they should get a real job. No. Where are their
What
parents?
is happening in America? I don't mean to be that guy,
questions.
but what's happening in America?
Are there folks like, they're like, Mom, Dad, I gotta go to work, and they're like, all right, have a good
I'll
day.
pick you up at 2.
Are there people out there who are like, teach kids the value
Yeah,
of hard
hard
work
work.
and a hard-earned dollar? Are there people out there who are pushing back on this? Am I getting people upset right now?
There are people pushing back.
What are we doing?
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, also parents got to pick them up at 2 a.m. Like they can't drive. 10-year-old
are they
like
walking?
you know,
They can't
they couldn't
drive.
walk.
Why not drive? They're
Well,
working
honestly,
till 2 a.m.
what is the line?
Toss them the keys.
Yeah.
Get him a
Gotta
car,
bring
get
home
him
a
a
check.
cigarette, and go.
All right, let's go to Columbus, Ohio. Maybe this will pick up your spirits.
Oh, God.
Would you guys like to steal a $500 leaf blower?
Oh, yes, please.
Sure.
I'm in the market.
I think
am I not getting caught?
the place you would want to move to is Ohio. In September 2020, Donald Bertman pulled up to Timothy Huff's house as he was doing yard work. Donald walked into the open garage, picked up a $500 leaf blower, and drove off. Huff said that Bertram had a smile on his face, so he didn't think he was going to steal anything. Bertram then grabbed the blower, and while Huff yelled at him to put it down, Bertram just calmly put it in his car and took off. So Bertram was convicted of burglary and was sentenced to 8 to 12 years in prison.
Whoa.
However, the Ohio Supreme Court threw out the conviction. In a unanimous opinion, the court said under Ohio law, Bertram didn't commit burglary because he did not gain access to Huff's garage by force, stealth, or deception. The course,
I swear I was going to ask this question.
This is unbelievable.
I was going to ask this.
The fact that he just walked in.
Yeah, because you saw him.
Casually took it and walked out. That's the reason that it's not burglary?
Yes. So the court did say that the county should convict him of misdemeanor criminal trespassing.
Sure.
Okay.
But the burglary is off his record.
So it's mainly because the dude, the guy who had the blower didn't fight back.
Yeah,
right?
he saw him walk into the garage and just take it.
So you just have to object.
He just got
essentially.
No, he did
Son.
object. He's like, stop, drop it. But he didn't.
Shut him down, open up shop.
Well played.
Thanks.
Well
Your
played.
references are out of control.
Dude, everyone knows that. How do you have that ready? That's great.
Incredible.
That's great.
What do you guys got coming up?
Big show today. We got a big show today with a lot of Kings. We're gonna get into some football as well. We're gonna start looking ahead. Yesterday we looked. Monday was sort of the autopsy, and it was kind of bleak and dark. Tuesday we took out the silver linings. Today on the Cattles and Rami show, we start looking forward. We start looking ahead.
That's
with
next.
the Sacramento Kings.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Thinking it's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the